How is this possible? Just a moment ago, Lin Mo's accrued points were 453 million. In just a few hours, the points became 483 million, exactly an increase of 300,000 points. This proved that Lin Mo had annihilated a leader-class colossal beast. Don Fangzi's face was extremely unsightly, his eyes filled with bitterness. It turned out that Lin Mo also possessed peak power. He had always believed that while Lin Mo had more tricks up his sleeve and superior slaughtering power, his peak power was not on par with his own. Lin Mo was originally a third-stage God King, suppressed to first-stage God King, making it impossible to destroy a leader-class colossal beast. He had hoped he could kill more leader-class colossal beasts, so even if his total points couldn't catch up, he could still prove his superior peak power over Lin Mo. But now, his thoughts seemed ridiculous. He himself was a suppressed peak minor god venerate, yet Lin Mo, merely a third-stage God King, could stand shoulder to shoulder with him. What kind of monster was this? Don Fangzi was once again emotionally wounded, his expression one of despair. Not only Don Fangzi, but many others shared the same feeling. After witnessing Lin Mo's actions, everyone had strange looks on their faces, feeling as if their weak hearts had been thrown to the ground for the second time. Worse, they were then kicked a few more times, hurting even more than the first time. Lin Mo, you are too ruthless. We know you are powerful, why do you keep hitting us like this? What do you want to prove? Do you want to prove that you are powerful, and we are all trash? The complaints arose ceaselessly. Chu Sheng coldly snorted, I don't care how powerful you are, I won't compete with you for pain. With that, he rushed straight towards a leader-class colossal beast, eager for a long fight. Wei Baoan, the warrior from the God of War Palace, although heavily impacted by this shock, did not fall. I have the inheritance of the God of War. As long as I inherit it, I will surely surpass you. In every aspect, the God of War Palace gave him firm faith, which could not be shaken outside the 6 palaces. Elder Lin smiled. This kid Lin Mo is quite interesting. I didn't expect him to do it a second time. Lady Yu sighed. Those geniuses are on the verge of despair. Sage Hao nodded and smiled. It is good. Only by experiencing despair can they become stronger. True gold fears no fire. If they cannot endure even this small setback, they will only be bullied on the battlefield. Elder Lin asked Sage Hao, would you consider accepting him as a disciple now? Sage Hao shook his head, refusing. Elder Lin was about to ask why, but Lady Yu signaled him not to. Sage Hao had his own reasons. Whether he did not want to accept, or did not dare to accept, the result was still a refusal. But everyone could see that Sage Hao's eyes were full of praise when looking at Lin Mo. He was completely pleased with Lin Mo's actions. On the continent surrounded by mountains, Lin Mo killed 5 more leader-class colossal beasts, shattering the 5 million point limit and reaching 3 million. He stopped in time. Everything must know when to seize, and there was no need to overdo it. Lin Mo collected all the remains and slowly walked toward the summit. Crossing this mountain range meant completing the mission. Under immense pressure, the journey of less than 500,000 kilometers took them several months. As soon as he reached the mountain peak, a beam of light shot out from the formation, landing on him. All restrictions disappeared at this moment. Lin Mo, guided by the light beam, left the continent surrounded by mountains and stepped into the vast universe. A familiar voice rang out beside his ear, making him smile. Lin Mohan stood not far away, like a gorgeously beautiful peony. Lin Mohan was even faster than him. She had reached the summit first and completed the mission. This was mainly because Lin Mo had spent extra time killing a few more leader-class colossal beasts. Lin Mo took a step to Lin Mohan's side. Congratulations, says, for getting first place. Lin Mohan lightly snorted. Stop flattering me. It's useless. Lin Mo smiled. I genuinely congratulate you. Who told you to be the first to complete the mission? Lin Mohan muttered. You know whether it's true or not. You didn't finish the mission first. Lin Mo did not continue the topic but looked towards the continent surrounded by mountains. From high up, he could clearly see the situation inside. He saw many people on their way out, and a few were still battling fiercely with leader-class colossal beasts. Lin Mo glanced at the mission scoreboard. Everyone had their corresponding points. The last ranked person was clearly Zhang Xiao, who had only achieved over 50,000 points, ranking at the bottom. This was consistent with Zhang Xiao's actual strength. Although he was able to represent the God of War Palace in the competition, it was mainly thanks to Lin Mo. It was a pity that no matter how much he advised Lin Mo would not listen, forcing him to helplessly watch her remain outside the God of War Palace. Later, he realized that even the invitation from Luo Klankun was ignored by Lin Mo, let alone his own. Lin Mo said casually, it seems no one was eliminated in this mission. Lin Mohan nodded. These people were all rare geniuses. Their future achievements would be brilliant. Becoming a god venerate was only a matter of time. Lin Mo agreed with his sister's words. 2 such shocks were enough to temper their wills to be more resolute. Lin Mohan frowned, her face showing displeasure. Aren't you afraid of me beating you up for doing this? Lin Mo retorted without hesitation. Is there anything in this world that can stump you, sis? Lin Mohan pondered for a moment. Actually, no. Lin Mo waved his hand. Then that's that. Having grown up together since childhood, how could Lin Mo not understand his sister's temper? If she were disheartened by such a trivial matter, she wouldn't be Lin Mohan. The cultivators successively conquered the summit, stepping out of the surrounding continent, completing the mission. As people emerge, they all stared at Lin Mo, their eyes extremely complex, unable to express their current mood. These arrogant geniuses were utterly defeated by Lin Mo, yet they couldn't refute it. Lin Mo did not violate the rules, nor did he snatch colossal beasts from them. Except for a few. Most did not know what methods Lin Mo had used, so they didn't know what to complain about. Lin Mo ignored their gazes. If looks could kill, he would have been killed countless times. Instead, Lin Mohan immediately stepped forward, her voice cold. Do you all have any objections? Her divine power erupted, and instantly, the sound of swords resonated in all directions. The nearby star base echoed with a fierce sword resonance. The initial mist was torn apart, and sharp swords emerged, each etched with intricate patterns, beautiful and elegant yet concealing killing intent. Everyone suddenly realized that her aura was even stronger than Dongfang He's back then, seemingly having broken the boundary between a minor god venerate and a god venerate. Some even doubted whether Lin Mohan could rival a god venerate, perhaps even be able to kill one across realms. Such an event was not unprecedented in human history. Several hundred years ago, Xiaosheng, hailed as the star of the human race, once used his minor god venerate status to slay a god venerate. At this moment, Lin Mohan displayed what was known as the #1 genius of the White Tiger Star region. The sharpness of the Azure Dragon Star region's attack was enough to give anyone a headache. Lin Mohan did not hold back. If they wanted to fight, she would fight to the end. Everyone quietly withdrew their gazes. Even a few arrogant minor god venerates chose to retreat. There was no other way. Lin Mohan's aura was too strong, completely overwhelming them. Lin Mohan slowly retracted her aura, and the 10,000 swords vanished without a trace. Lin Mo gave her a thumbs up. Sis, you're really domineering. Lin Mohan coldly snorted. Stop flattering me. If there's a next time, it's your turn. Lin Mo nodded. No problem. Until the last person left the surrounding continent, the formation covering the continent shot out myriad golden rays of light, converging in the star base to form a brilliant golden path of light. Everyone stepped onto the path of light, and the scene before them changed abruptly. They were teleported away. When they recovered, they stood before a magnificent and splendid palace. The palace exuded immense pressure and a dense aura of time, like a towering mountain weighing down on everyone. Some turned pale, unable to believe that a palace could give them this feeling, making even breathing difficult. Among the 100 people here, only a few remained calm. Lin Mo assessed the palace with keen interest. The palace, from its architecture and the carved patterns on the walls to the construction materials, evoked a strangely familiar feeling, especially the construction material. The material used in the fortress of that mysterious villa area was a black, terrifyingly hard material. This indicated that this palace had an extremely long history, likely surviving from the ancient era, a complete palace remaining from the ancient era. Lin Mo was initially startled, then found it unsurprising. Wasn't Juqiu's worship also preserved from the ancient era? Upon reflection, it wasn't so astonishing. Although the ancient era was distant, the artifacts remaining from that time were certainly numerous. They were just scattered, and only high-ranking figures could possess them. An elderly laugh rang out. An amiable old man appeared before them. Lin Mo recognized him at a glance. It was the same old man who had previously announced the mission on the continent surrounded by mountains. The old man looked kind, smiling gently, without any imposing presence, much like an ordinary, frail old man. Beyond Shore Realm, Lin Mo thought to himself. When the 17 formations were deployed, he had already guessed that this old man was in the Beyond Shore Realm. Now it was just a confirmation of the opponent's realm. He glanced at Lin Mohan beside him. Clearly, Lin Mohan had also guessed the old man's realm. Elder Lin looked at everyone. The mission was completed well. None of you were eliminated, which is slightly better than the previous batch. Now I announce the mission rewards. First place, Lin Mo, is awarded 100 Divine City Merit Points. Divine City Merit Points. Lin Mo heard this term for the first time and did not know what Divine City Merit Points were used for. He glanced at Lin Mo Han. Clearly, Lin Mo Han was also unclear, but based on the literal meaning, one could guess that Divine City Merit Points were definitely used within the Divine City, perhaps similar to mission points or battle contributions. They were likely used to upgrade ranks within the Divine City or even purchase items. Whether his guess was right or wrong, he only needed to look at the reactions of the Divine City people. Lin Mo quietly observed and indeed saw some unusual reactions. The people from the Divine City reacted intensely, even somewhat exaggeratedly. Many had looks of craving in their eyes. Based on their expressions, it was entirely possible to deduce that 100 Divine City Merit Points were of considerable value. As for their specific benefits, he would find out upon entering the Divine City. The old man continued. Second place, Lin Mo Han, receives 50 Divine City Merit Points. Third place, Don Fangzi, receives 20 Divine City Merit Points. 5th to 10th place, each receives 10 Divine City Merit Points. 11th to 50th place, each receives 1 Divine City Merit Point. The 50 contestants after that receive no reward. Contestants from the God of War Palace do not receive Divine City Merit Points. They can return to the God of War Palace to claim corresponding rewards. The God of War Palace people did not need Divine City Merit Points. They had their own system. But this time, the God of War Palace people did not even achieve the top 3 ranks. It was truly a failure. Starting from 11th place, only 1 Divine City Merit Point was awarded, 100 times less than Lin Mo. Among them were a few from the Divine City. Lin Mo noticed that even with just 1 Divine City Merit Point, they were extremely happy. Xu Jiangting was one of them. He had painstakingly secured 49th place, and upon receiving 1 Divine City Merit Point, joy was clearly visible on his face. Only Dong Fengzi's, despite receiving 20 Divine City Merit Points, looked unhappy. Lin Mo thought to himself, he must have been aiming for the 100 points for first place. Now that he is missing so much, that's probably why. The other 2 minor god venerates from the Divine City, one ranking 7th and one 9th, only received 10 merit points, and were not happy either. But well, a rule is a rule. Elder Lin politely said, do you have any opinions about this mission? Speak up if there is any dissatisfaction. Dong Fengzi was the first to speak. Senior, I want to ask how Lin Mo achieved so many points. This is highly irregular. Elder Lin glanced at Dong Fengzi. The entire mission was closely monitored. There were no problems. As for how many points Lin Mo achieved, that is his business and doesn't need to be reported to you. Dong Fengzi's question was dismissed by Elder Lin. Elder Lin was right. How Lin Mo did it was his secret, which involved laws and techniques. The human race had a rule against inquiring about such information. If he wanted to know, he could ask Lin Mo directly, but whether he would tell was another matter. Dong Fengzi was still unconvinced. Senior, I believe this mission fundamentally fails to distinguish individual strength. Everyone excels in different areas. For example, the senior and junior brothers from the Black Tortoise Star region excel at defense. They were at a major disadvantage in this mission. On the other hand, senior brother Lin seems to excel at group combat, gaining a considerable advantage. Dong Fengzi spoke at length, and a few people agreed, but his words subtly targeted Lin Mo. In truth, many people wanted to know how Lin Mo did it. Elder Lin listened to Dong Fengzi intently. When Dong Fengzi finished speaking, Elder Lin looked up and said, done talking. Dong Fengzi replied, yes, please forgive this junior's rambling. Elder Lin hummed, it's good to have opinions. I like hearing the opinions of young people. Feel free to speak your mind, but I also have a condition. You are allowed to voice your opinions. But whether I accept them is my prerogative. I have heard everything you said. Just leave it at that. Just leave it at that. Dong Fengzi froze. After speaking so much, he ultimately only received 4 words. Just leave it at that. Lin Mo had anticipated this. For an expert in the Beyond Shore realm to invite opinions was mostly a formality. One shouldn't mistake oneself for an outsider. Elder Lin ignored Dong Fengzi's and looked at the others. Do any of you have any other opinions? Everyone shook their heads. What's the point? More opinions. What's the use of saying them? He won't listen anyway. Elder Lin smiled. If there are no other opinions, I will talk about the next matter. The 4 Great Star Regions preliminary round has ended. Including you all, there are a total of 500 contestants participating in the final round. I will lead you to the arena shortly. There are more than 10 days until the Liju competition begins. You can adjust your condition or take a stroll and familiarize yourselves with the environment, although there's nothing particularly special to get familiar with. On a side note, I remind you all, During the 4 Great Star Regions Grand Competition, you are not allowed to secretly engage in combat or you will be disqualified and expelled from the Divine City. Do not think of using tricks or deliberately provoking others. The Human Emperor network is not easy to deceive. As for the specific competition rules, you will know when you get there. Then, he looked at Dongfengyi. The rules are set. If you find it disadvantageous, stay in the Divine City and don't go out. If you go out, you must abide by the rules. The palace suddenly shattered the void, teleporting everyone straight towards the 4 Great Star Regions arena. The star base outside the palace was dazzling and indescribably beautiful. The entire palace shifted simultaneously, taking everyone along. The teleportation process was extremely smooth. There were none of the usual spectacular light trails seen when traveling through subspace. Most people barely felt they were being teleported. Dongfengyi's face went from red to ashen. Elder Lin's final words were essentially telling him, if you don't have the ability, don't speak up. If you have any opinions, you might as well just fart or shut up. Everyone here was smart, who wouldn't understand. Dongfengyi didn't expect Elder Lin to give him such a slap in the face. It was clearly a direct blow, but he had to grit his teeth and endure, not daring to utter another word. Gazes filled with mockery seemed to be directed at him from all directions. Lin Mo transmitted his voice to Lin Mohan. This elder is quite protective, isn't he? Lin Mohan replied, he's truly an idiot. You're too honest. Lin Mo sighed. He was just being polite, and he had to speak up. Fine, but why ramble so much? He didn't consider his own status, more the status of others. In this small world, a person like him is truly a reckless fellow, easily bullied. Lin Mo felt that having things go smoothly for him all the time meant he was bound to hit a bad patch eventually. The teleportation did not last long and soon ended. The palace emerged from subspace. Lin Mo immediately felt a powerful aura, the extremely potent aura of the law. The aura of the Human Emperor network was similar. Lin Mo knew they were near the Divine City. His eyes flashed with brilliant light. Opening his beyond shore spirit, Lin Mo saw countless law lines. Here, the law lines were clearer, making law comprehension easier. The law of the 3rd echelon was very complete, mostly all present. The law of the 2nd echelon only had a small portion, which had largely dissipated. As for the law of the 1st echelon, not a single one was present. Lin Mohan's voice rang out, Choyo, what are you doing? When the beyond shore spirit opened, Lin Mo's pupils automatically turned purple, looking quite strange. At the same time, a noble temperament emanated from Lin Mo, making people afraid to look directly at him. Lin Mo retracted his spiritual power, not hiding anything from Lin Mohan. I'm observing the law. Lin Mohan seemed not to understand Lin Mo's words. The law can be observed. The palace stopped, and a stretch of star base appeared before everyone. This area of star base had no planets, only countless colossal circular arenas, each with a diameter of over 100,000 kilometers, larger than ordinary planets, suspended in the star base. There were hundreds of such arenas. The 100 arenas formed a colossal grand formation, with each arena being a point in the formation. At this moment, the formation was open, covering all the arenas. The grand formation exuded a terrifying aura, surging like waves, making people breathless. What a grand scale. I've only seen images of the 4 Great Star Regions Grand Competition before, only one arena. I didn't expect it to be this magnificent. Compared to those 100 arenas, this formation is truly terrifying. I feel like this formation could kill me at any moment. The person who spoke this was a minor god Venery. If even he said so, no one dared to doubt it. Elder Lin pointed in another direction. That is the living area, also the waiting area for the competition. During the 4 Great Star Regions Grand Competition, you will stay here and are not allowed to leave. If anything happens, someone will inform you. Elder Lin pointed into the distance. A colossal continent was suspended in mid-air. This continent was immense, even larger than the arenas. Many houses, along with taverns and other living amenities, were built on it. Contestants could move freely within. The continent was located right next to the Grand Formation's boundary but was also protected by the formation. Elder Lin waved his hand. Go now. Someone there will guide you to register. As soon as he finished speaking, everyone felt dizzy and immediately left the palace. Without hesitation, they flew together towards the continent. Where is Lin Mo? Where did he go? Someone suddenly noticed the abnormality. Lin Mo did not leave with everyone. Lin Mohan was also nowhere to be seen. Another voice rang out. Someone turned their head to look at the palace, but its shadow was no longer visible. Without further thought, everyone continued to fly towards the continent. Only Lin Mo and Lin Mohan remained, watching the figures of Elder Lin and the others disappear. Elder Lin said, "Little friend Lin, follow me." Lin Mo was stunned, somewhat overwhelmed. An expert in the Beyond Shore realm calling him little friend. Lin Mohan looked at Lin Mo with a puzzled expression. Since earlier, everything seemed to be beyond her expectations. She felt she no longer understood Lin Mo. The two followed Elder Lin along a winding path to the front of the palace. In front of the palace, a small, exquisite tea table was set up. A man and a woman sat next to it, enjoying tea and chatting happily. A light floral scent wafted in the air. Lin Mohan took a breath and felt her soul almost ascend. Her whole being felt light, like an immortal, and her mind was incomparably pure. She exclaimed, "What kind of tea is this?" Sword Luo God Venerate, her master, was very fond of tea, and over the years, she had drawn quite a bit. Sometimes, Sword Luo God Venerate would even search everywhere for good tea, even breaking into enemy territory just to retrieve tea. Lin Mo Han had tasted many kinds of tea, but this one was unlike any she had encountered. Lin Mo also smelled the tea, but did not have the same special feeling as Lin Mo Han. He calmly asked, "This is enlightenment tea." Elder Lin glanced at Lin Mo. "That's right, enlightenment tea. Have you drunk it on the Q continent?" Lin Mo nodded. Senior Joe once gave this junior a type of tea. The taste permeated the very soul. Senior Jiu said it was enlightenment tea. Jiu Qiu said that enlightenment tea was sourced from Sage Hao's location, was extremely rare, and beneficial for soul cultivation. At that time, Lin Mo's spirit had just entered the Beyond Shore realm, and Jiu Qiu had been generous enough to give him a cup of enlightenment tea to stabilize his realm. Lin Mo was very grateful for this. Looking at the tea table, Lin Mo softly said, "Lady Yu, Sage Hao." Lin Mo Han was startled. Once again shocked. It really is Lady Yu. She had heard Sword Luo God Venerate mention Lady Yu, knowing her to be a prominent figure in the Beyond Shore realm. As for Sage Hao, there was no need to say more. Although she had never met him, the title Sage Lord was enough to prove his status in the human race. Lin Movan realized she had constantly underestimated her younger brother. Since when did Lin Mo develop to this extent? Her heart swelled with pride. The stronger her brother was, the happier she, the older sister, felt. Sage Hao signaled for the two to come and sit. Lady Yu smiled, "Little friend Lin, we meet again." Lin Mo bowed. "This junior greets Sage Hao. Greets Lady Yu." Sage Hao shook his head. "No need to be so polite. Your entry into the Beyond Shore realm is only a matter of time." Elder Lin added, "We don't like those tedious rituals. Just be comfortable calling us whatever you like from now on. My surname is Lin. Just call me Elder Lin." Lady Yu, with a gentle fragrance emanating from her lips, said, "My name is Meng Jiao. Little friend Lin can call me Lady Yu or Meng Jiao." Not long ago, Lin Mohan still felt that Beyond Shore realm experts were like stars in the ninth heaven, distant and unattainable. Although her master was close to reaching that realm, he was still a little short. Sword Lu God Venerate's words still echoed in her ears. Why is it called Beyond Shore? Because Beyond Shore is the end point. It is not only the end point of the stellar law, but also the end point of the cultivation path, the goal of all God Venerates. As for the Sage Lord, they are those who have gone even further beyond that end point, true ultimate experts. Sword Luo God Venerate also longed to become a Sage Lord. Yet now, a Sage Lord was sitting here, chatting intimately with her younger brother like a friend. Lin Mohan even felt like she was dreaming. Lady Yu gently took Lin Mohan's hand. Lin Mohan, who was always strong and domineering, rarely showed a flustered look. Lady Yu pulled Lin Mohan down to sit beside her. "This must be Fairy Han. I see she is not just the #1 beauty in the White Tiger Star region, but even throughout the human race. She deserves the title." Lin Mohan replied shyly, "Lady Yu is the truly beautiful one." Lady Yu smiled gently. "I am not exaggerating, it is the truth. I only heard before that Sword Luo God Venerate accepted a disciple with exceptional talent. Today, I finally get to meet her. Her talent is no less than that of little friend Lin." Sage Hao looked at Lin Mohan. "Your talent is very strong. Stepping into Beyond Shore is not a problem." As he spoke, he lightly tapped his finger. The boiling teapot automatically flew out, and landed into an exquisite small cup. Instantly, the tea's aroma became even richer, and more intoxicating. Sage Hao said, "Drinking this cup of tea will help you step into the God Venerate realm." Lady Yu said, "Sage Lord, why the rush? Let little Han participate in the 4 Great Star Regions Grand Competition, and then it won't be too late to advance to God Venerate." Sage Hao shook his head. The 4 Great Star Regions Grand Competition is useless to her. For her, Advancing to the God Venerate realm sooner is better. Lin Mo heard a clue in Sage Hao's words. Sage Lord, have you perhaps seen through my sister's talent? Sage Hao stared intently at Lin Mo Hun, his eyes flashing with purple light, similar to when Lin Mo observed the law lines, but Sage Hao's purple light was deeper, seemingly carrying a terrifying magical power. After staring for a few seconds, he shook his head. I can only perceive that her talent is very special. My senses tell me that the sooner she steps into the God Venerate realm, the better for her. Sage Hao's words drew everyone's attention. Lady Yu and Elder Lin both knew that Sage Hao's spirit had reached the pinnacle of the 5th grade Violet Jade Soul, and his knowledge was exceedingly vast. If he said so, it was very likely to be true. Lin Mohan whispered, I dare not hide it from the Sage Lord. I actually have this feeling too. It seems the sooner I advance to God Venerate, the more beneficial it is for me. Sage Hao nodded. Then let it be so. You shall achieve God Venerate status today. Lady Yu smiled, with this cup of tea to help. After achieving God Venerate, the soul will be more stable, and the benefits will be numerous. At this moment, Elder Lin chuckled and mysteriously took out 5 tea leaves. These 5 tea leaves were extremely special. One was like a fiercely burning flame, one was like transparent ice and snow, one was tiny, shining like flowing gold, one was azure like the sky, and the last sparkled like 10,000 stars. Lady Yu showed surprise, then covered her mouth and chuckled. Elder Lin, are you really willing to part with these? Elder Lin smiled. It's just 5 tea leaves. What's there to be unwilling about? Lady Yu asked. Then may I ask, how much more of this tea do you have? Elder Lin spread his hands. None left. Even when he has none left, he can still speak so generously. This old man is truly lovable. Lady Yu sighed. Since Elder Lin has taken out precious tea leaves, I cannot be stingy either. Good tea requires good water. Rare tea leaves naturally require rare water. This is jade clear dew that I had just obtained from an ancient ruin. It has no special attributes, which makes it very suitable for brewing with Elder Lin's tea leaves. Sage Hao softly said, leave the tea brewing to me. Elder Lin laughed heartily. Then nothing could be better. 3 Beyond Shore Realm experts were working tirelessly for Lin Mohan's breakthrough to God Venerate. Lin Mohan felt immense gratitude in her heart, but she also understood that it was all out of respect for Lin Mo, especially Sage Hao. Although unsaid, Lin Mohan sensed that this person truly valued Lin Mo more than herself. Via merely basking in Lin Mo's aura. So what? Leaning on my younger brother is nothing to be ashamed of. The tea set was put away, and the tea leaves and water inside were taken out. Lady Yu poured the jade clear dew from the air. This water was like jade liquid, shining with captivating light. It condensed in the air, not dissipating. Sage Hao waved his hand, collecting the jade clear dew. Then he softly shouted, and a brilliant galaxy immediately appeared over the palace. Sage Hao summoned his law galaxy. This was the first time Lin Mo had seen the law galaxy of the Beyond Shore realm. He observed carefully, wanting to compare it with the God Venerate's law galaxy to see the difference, but with just a glance, his eyes began to sting. The law in the galaxy contained Sage Hao's personal will, not something he could casually peek at. Although he gained no deeper understanding, with just a fleeting glance, Lin Mo saw many types of law. The law in this galaxy contained more than one type of law. This is not a naturally formed law galaxy. Lin Mo felt a chill, but he could only see up to this point. For more profound things, he was not yet qualified to observe. Sage Hao's calm voice rang out, stop looking. Everyone has their own path. Observing the paths of others is not beneficial to you. Lin Mo quickly nodded. This junior understands. The law shone down, using the power of the law to refine the jade clear dew. The jade clear dew was surrounded by the law's power, slowly transforming, beginning to soften. Lady Yu smiled. Sage Lord is indeed a Sage Lord. Even when I obtained the jade clear dew, I couldn't refine it to boiling. Elder Lin said, that's why even when I obtained the tea, I didn't go looking for the water, because it was useless. Lady Yu looked slightly embarrassed. When will I be able to reach the Sage Lord realm? Elder Lin joked, keep dreaming. It'll happen in your dreams. Lady Yu flirtatiously glanced at Elder Lin. You also like to tease Manjiao like this. The transformation of the jade clear dew was very slow. It would take quite some time to refine it to a boil. Hearing the two converse, waves surged in Lin Mo's heart. What exactly is the origin of this jade clear dew? Even a Beyond Shore realm expert can't refine it to a boil. And where are these ancient ruins? It seems only those in the Beyond Shore realm can reach them. He seemed to be getting closer to a new secret of this world, an inscrutable secret. Elder Lin looked at Lin Mo. Little friend Lin, you should prepare for the 4 Great Star Regions Grand Competition. Refining the water takes some time, and then brewing the tea with the water will also take a while. Furthermore, your sister's breakthrough to God Venerate also requires time. Lady Yu smiled. With us here, little friend Lin doesn't need to worry. Lin Mo was naturally at ease. He turned to look at Lin Mohan. Sis, I wish you a successful breakthrough to God Venerate. Lin Mohan smiled. Compete well and definitely get first place. Rest assured. Lin Mo once again bowed to the 3. This junior respectfully takes his leave. I once again thank the 3 seniors. Older Lin waved his hand. Go. No need to see you off. Lin Mo didn't expect the situation to take such an unexpected turn. Seeing the 3 Beyond Shore Realms seniors behind him, what happened next felt like a dream. Lin Mohan had reached the peak of the minor God Venerate realm, only half a step away from God Venerate. Her talent brought astonishing cultivation speed, and with that speed, her foundation was still incomparably solid. All major and minor bottlenecks crumbled before Lin Mohan's talent like paper. Even Lin Mohan herself sometimes didn't fully understand what her talent truly was. The information her talent provided was very simple: increase cultivation speed. In reality, it was exactly so. Her cultivation speed was 1,000 times faster than ordinary people, non-stop. At the same time, when cultivating, a strange voice would occasionally appear, urging her to hurry up, faster and faster. Lin Mohan gradually understood that the faster she cultivated, the better. The sooner she broke through to higher realms, the more beneficial it was for her. But why was this the case? She truly didn't know. Sage Hao, standing at the peak of the realm, also perceived a clue. Lin Mo was present, and realized that Sage Hao's decision was made on a whim. Before personally witnessing Lin Mohan, he had never thought about helping her step into the God Venerate realm. From his perspective, Lin Mohan was just a small, insignificant minor God Venerate. Even the opportunity for her to meet him was thanks to Lin Mo himself. My sister's talent is truly strange. Lin Mo mused, then flew towards the contestants' rest area. Passing through the formation's curtain, his vision blurred, and his whole body went through a brief but rapid teleportation. In less than half a second, the teleportation ended. Lin Mo found himself in a spacious hall. A young, beautiful woman stepped forward. She wore a classic robe. On the robe were special patterns. Lin Mo had seen similar patterns on the clothes of Qu Jingsing and Dong Fengzi. They were the symbols of the Divine City. This woman was from the Divine City, and also a staff member here. She stood before Lin Mo, her clear voice ringing out. Hello, welcome to the Grand Competition City. My name is Shiu. I will help you register your information, introduce the situation of the Grand Competition City, the rules of the 4 Great Star Regions Grand Competition, and other things to note. Lin Mo looked at Shiu. Between her eyebrows, she bore some resemblance to Qu Jingsing. You are from the Shu family of the Divine City? Lin Mo asked. He knew that the Divine City was not a place where ordinary people could easily set foot. Within the Divine City were great clans and influential families. The Yu family was one of them, and the Shu family, where Qu Jingsing lived, was another. This girl in front of him had the surname Xu and resembled Qu Jingsing in some ways. She was likely a member of the Shu family. But Xiu's eyes were still smiling, unchanged. Tu is correct. Xu was indeed from the Shu family. Her voice was still respectful and polite, but Lin Mo could still sense the pride hidden deep within her bones, a pride belonging to the Divine City, belonging to the Shu family. However, she did not display this arrogance, nor did she show contempt for others. Lin Mo merely asked casually, then I'll trouble Miss Xiu. So he is all the better. Sayuri is too polite. This is Xiu's duty. With that, she took out a jade token that countered the formation, activated it, and handed it towards Lin Mo. A faint light radiated from the jade token, enveloping Lin Mo. At the same time, Xiu received his information. She immediately helped Lin Mo register and choose his residence. The situation here was not much different from the Fire Seed Island. The Grand Competition City had many houses distributed everywhere, with varying conditions, allowing contestants to choose their preferred location. Xiu said, Sir is one of the 100 seed contestants and also the earliest arrival, so you have priority in selection. Although there were many rooms, locations with beautiful scenery were limited. As a seed contestant arriving a step earlier than others, he naturally had more choices. Priority selection for seed contestants always came with benefits others did not have. Lin Mo still chose a room by the lake. He didn't pay much attention, it was just a slight nostalgia. After all, this was not his home, and the living conditions made little difference. Xiu led Lin Mo to choose a house, explaining a few things about the Grand Competition City along the way. Throughout the 4 Great Star Regions Grand Competition, both contestants and spectators stayed in the Grand Competition City. There were 2 ways to watch the matches, either directly in the Grand Competition City, where formations projected the matches everywhere, allowing one to watch alone, or go to a tavern or public square to watch with others, or, if one didn't like watching the projection, one could request to watch from the spectator area outside the arena. After the matches began, many people would come here. The Grand Competition City was divided into separate areas for contestants and spectators to avoid any unexpected incidents. Throughout the competition, no one was allowed to leave the Grand Competition City. Even those who were eliminated had to stay until the 4 Great Star Regions Grand Competition concluded before leaving together. All contestants would receive a notification 1 hour before their match started. At the time of the match, they would automatically be teleported to the corresponding arena. After introducing everything about the Grand Competition City, Toshio began to explain the specific rules of the 4 Great Star Regions Grand Competition. The rules were very simple. After all contestants arrived, a draw would be held. Each person would be assigned a sequence number. This time there were 500 contestants. From number 1 to number 500. Number 1 fights number 500, number 2 fights number 499, and so on. The specific match times would be arranged by the Human Emperor Network. Some people would receive a buy exempt from fighting. The person receiving the buy would also be decided by the Human Emperor Network. While there might be buys, no complaints were allowed. The detailed rules and points to note would be announced again by the Human Emperor Network. As for the rewards, the Human Emperor Network would also announce them later. Shuchi reminded Sir Lin, fighting is not allowed in the city. If there is fighting, your qualification to participate in the grand competition will be revoked. If you are not from the Divine City, your qualification to enter the Divine City will also be revoked. If you are from the Divine City, you will be expelled from the Divine City. Linmo smiled. The penalty is quite severe, isn't it? What if someone deliberately provokes me? Shuchi replied, if anyone deliberately provokes you, you can report it to the Human Emperor Network and they will be punished. But rest assured, no one will be so foolish. This only happened in the 4 Great Star Regions Grand Competitions a long time ago. The 2 arrived at the place Linmo chose. It was a 2-story house about 10 meters high, with 3 sides facing the lake, very exquisite. The house was covered by a formation, indicating no one had lived there yet. Toshio used the J token to open the formation for Linmo. Sir Lin, this room now belongs to you. You can freely control the formation. If you do not wish it, no one can disturb you. Linmo smiled, thank you, Mr. Yushu. Toshio also bowed politely, I will excuse myself and not disturb your rest. I wish Sir Lin good results. Next to the lake was a small, exquisite pavilion. From the pavilion, the stunning lake's scenery was fully visible. The wind gently skimmed the lake's surface, carrying a soothing moisture. The lake water sparkled. Occasionally, fish would jump out, displaying vigorous vitality. Linmo did not enter the house but sat down in the pavilion. He took out a tea set and began to brew tea. Although these tea leaves could not compare to the Enlightenment tea, they were still top grade, sent from Juki's hometown. Since stepping into the great world, he rarely enjoyed such quiet moments. He was still contemplating Shuchi's words from earlier. Amidst her words, he sensed the domineering nature of the Human Emperor Network, or more precisely, the domineering nature of the one who established the rules by as exists, but no complaints are allowed. The rule setter was certainly a major figure, in existence at the beyond shore level. He was subtly announcing to everyone, you are not qualified to refute me. You can only follow the rules I set, even if they are somewhat unfair, because that is power. Linmo liked to analyze. He could magnify small details and discover deeper truths. But not everyone could understand these truths. At least, someone like Dongfangzi could not. Dongfangzi was not stupid. A stupid person could not cultivate to the minor god venerate realm. But he was foolish to an extreme, ruining his future for a small immediate gain, perhaps not even realizing it until it was too late. Furthermore, when Elder Lin reprimanded him, others remained silent, while he alone expressed dissatisfaction. This showed his limited perspective. To Linmo, such a person was not worth a second glance. In his eyes, Hu Jingxing was far stronger than Dongfangzi's. Hu Jingxing only lacked time, and would definitely go further in the end. Linmo trusted his judgment. The sound of footsteps rang out. Someone was approaching from afar. Sensing the familiar aura, Linmo smiled. Senior brother Chuan, senior brother Chu. His voice rang out, greeting Chuan Bai and Chu Sheng. Chu Sheng was burly, like a colossal bear. Xuanbai was neither short nor thin and had an extraordinary demeanor, but standing next to Chu Shun, he was like a small bird next to a beast, appearing surprisingly small. Chu Shun hadn't arrived yet, but his deep voice had already boomed out, "Junior brother Lin, you're finally here." Linmo smiled. "The tea has just been brewed. Let's enjoy it together." Xuanbai was stunned by the aroma of the tea. "This is enlightenment tea." Linmo smiled. "Azure flame enlightenment tea. Senior brother Chuan is indeed sharp-eyed." Chuanbi said in a deep voice, "This is good stuff that only God venerates can enjoy. I didn't expect junior brother Lin to have it." Enlightenment tea was a grade lower than true enlightenment tea. The Beyond Shore realm used true enlightenment tea, and the God venerate realm used enlightenment tea. Lin Mo replied, "It was a gift from a senior. I was just lucky." Shu Shun interrupted their formalities. "Whatever it is, I only know how to drink it. A bitter pill is good for the ailment. Unpleasant truth is good for the character." Xuanbei angrily glared at him, not wanting to say anything more. They sat down. Shu Shun loudly asked, "Junior brother Lin, where did you go earlier? And where is your sister?" He looked around, not seeing Lin Mohan. Lin Mo and Lin Mohan, the two siblings, were always together on Fire Seed Island, but now they were separated. Lin Mo said, "My sister will no longer participate in the 4 Great Star Regions Grand Competition." Shu Shun was stunned. Why would she suddenly not participate? Xuanbei slightly blinked, having guessed the reason. "Congratulations to senior sister Lin for advancing to God Venerate. The 4 Great Star Regions Grand Competition required participants to be in the God King realm, with the lowest being First Stage God King and the highest being Minor God Venerate. Too low or too high was not allowed." Lin Mohan's sudden withdrawal from the 4 Great Star Regions Grand Competition had only one possibility: she was preparing to advance to God Venerate. Lin Mohan had already reached the limit of a Minor God Venerate, so advancing to God Venerate was normal. Shu Shun slapped his thigh. "This is great, my ranking goes up a notch, and I get more Divine City merit points." The ranking in the 4 Great Star Regions Grand Competition, and the rewards were directly proportional. The higher the rank, the more generous the reward. Clearly, Xuanbai and Chu Shun were quite knowledgeable about the 4 Great Star Regions Grand Competition. Given their age, they had experienced several 4 Great Star Regions Grand Competitions, so they were familiar with the situations within. Linmo asked, "Senior brother Juan, senior brother Chu, do you know much about the 4 Great Star Regions Grand Competition?" With that, he poured each of them a cup of fine tea. Xuanbi lifted the teacup and inhaled lightly. "We know quite a bit." Chu Shun patted his chest. "Although this is my first time participating, I've watched many times, and have plenty of experience." Linmo curiously asked, "Senior brother Chu, you've never participated before?" Chu Shun replied, "No. Participating in this kind of competition, once, is enough. There's no need to participate many times." Xuanbei explained in detail. "It's like this. Most people participate in the 4 Great Star Regions Grand Competition with the goal of entering the Divine City. However, those who enter the Divine City through the 4 Great Star Regions Grand Competition are only the lowest level staff, with no status. Furthermore, the rules in the Divine City are very complicated, and it's better to be free outside. Therefore, we all took missions outside, and only after gaining the qualifications to enter the Divine City did we participate in the 4 Great Star Regions Grand Competition. If we achieve a good reputation and enough Divine City merit points in the 4 Great Star Regions Grand Competition, we can quickly upgrade after entering the Divine City, at least reaching the primary level before we can freely enter and exit." Through Juanbi's explanation, Linmo gradually understood the situation within the Divine City. Divine City merit points were very important within the Divine City, a necessary item for promotion. The Divine City had many restrictions. It was not a place one could enter or exit at will. However, the Divine City was the ultimate destination that human cultivators desired. Inside, there were many resources unavailable outside. The problem was how, and when to go. If one participated in the 4 Great Star Regions Grand Competition at a low realm, even if one was lucky enough to enter the Divine City, one would only be at the lowest stratum, which was even worse than staying outside. Both of them waited until they reached the Minor God Venerate realm and obtained their own ticket to the Divine City before participating in the 4 Great Star Regions Grand Competition. Although both of them might still only be in the periphery after entering the Divine City, they could at least be promoted quickly. Chu Shun chuckled slyly. "I asked a few people in the Divine City. Most of them are at the lowest stratum in the periphery, with no status. Promotion is very difficult in the Divine City. Even someone like Dong Fang, he is only at the primary level. He needs a lot of Divine City merit points to advance from primary to intermediate. This time, he struggled to get the chance to participate in the 4 Great Star Regions Grand Competition just to earn Divine City merit points. Chuanbi closed his eyes, savoring the wonderful taste of the enlightenment tea, looking content. It's a shame that guy was quite unlucky. He ran into junior brother Lin and Fairy Han and was pushed down to 3rd place. 100 Divine City merit points eventually became only 20. Linmo also knew that without him, and Linmo Han, Domfengzi would definitely have won 1st place. Linmo smiled. It is indeed a bit unfortunate. Chu Shon yelled, unfortunate. Wait, until the matches. Don't let me run into him, or I'll teach him how to behave. Huanbai laughed heartily. Just don't lose too badly then. Chu Shong snorted. You never know until you fight. Zhuangbi looked at Lin Mo. Junior brother Lin, you also need to be careful. The 4 Great Star Regions Grand Competition is not like the Human Emperor Network. Many contestants have special, hard to defend against techniques. The time until the 4 Great Star Regions Grand Competition grew closer. It was 10 days until the matches began. Contestants from the preliminary rounds were brought here. They did not come by themselves, but were transported by Divine City warships. The 4 Great Star Regions arena was located within human territory, very close to the Divine City. Approaching it was forbidden without permission, or one would face fierce attack. Grand Competition City began to bustle. Contestants could be seen walking back and forth on the streets. In the taverns, many contestants were also chatting. They were all members of the human race. Although they came from different star regions, a meal and a cup of wine were enough to make them familiar. The people from the God of War Palace were as arrogant as ever. They did not socialize with anyone, forming their own group. The Divine City people were different. Although they were also very arrogant, they would actively approach others. They knew that among these contestants, quite a few would enter the Divine City later, becoming their colleagues or even comrades. Among them were some exceptionally talented individuals who might become major figures in the future. Linmo still sat by the lake. For more than 10 days, he did not leave, silently drinking tea and enjoying the gentle breeze over the lake. For him, this was the best relaxation. Occasionally, he would look up at the void. He wanted to know Lin Mohan's situation. Although he knew she was safe with the 3 Beyond Shore Realm experts constantly attending to her, he still worried sometimes. Over the past few days, Zhuang Bai and Shushon visited twice. Shushon always brought delicious food and good wine. He had befriended quite a few people in the Divine City. From them he obtained the Divine City's fine wine, along with much news related to the Divine City, which he actively shared with Lin Mo. Xu Jingxing also came to see Lin Mo. The two chatted for more than half a day. Through Xu Jingxing's words, Lin Mo also learned some things about the Divine City's internal workings. Combining multiple sources of information, Lin Mo had a general overview of the Divine City's internal situation. The Divine City, and the 4 Great Star Regions still had some differences. What Xu Shun obtained and what Xu Jingxing said were only superficial pieces of information. Ultimately, he would have to enter the Divine City himself to understand fully. In the Divine City, rank was very important. Authority from the 4 Great Star Regions was useless in the Divine City. The Divine City valued rank. Fortunately, Lin Mo was already at the primary level and had some authority. At least, he did not need to start from the lowest rank. His starting point was already much higher. Lin Mo was contemplating, should I enter the Divine City directly after the 4 Great Star Regions Grand Competition? He already had the qualification to enter the Divine City, and the timing was his choice. The more he thought, the more indecisive Lin Mo became, mainly because the information was too scarce, insufficient for him to make an accurate judgment. Lin Mo set down his teacup. The thoughtful look in his eyes vanished, restoring his gentle expression. I will ask the Domain Lord then. If I don't get an answer, I won't overthink it. Overthinking on his own was not as good as asking someone with experience. Du Qiu came from the Divine City and would certainly be able to give him a more accurate answer. There were 5 days left until the grand competition began. Divine City warships brought in a large number of personnel again. Most of these people were human, with extraordinary backgrounds, often elders of a family or directly the family patriarch, and many star domain lords. They themselves possessed the strength of the god Venerate realm. Accompanying them were some special spectators, guests from other races. These honored guests came to observe the 4 Great Star Regions Grand Competition. Grand Competition City became even more lively. Although the city had 2 separate sides, the atmosphere still spread strongly. In the past few days, one could frequently see warships flying back and forth in the sky, which subtly added to the excitement. The 4 Great Star Regions Grand Competition was held once every 100 years. one of the most solemn events of the human race. Each time it was held, it was extremely lively, attracting the attention of major races. The Four Great Star Regions Grand Competition was not only an internal contest for the human race, but also an occasion to display strength to foreign races, showing them how strong the younger generation of the human race was. This was because, for any race, the younger generation was the source of power and the future hope of that race. Only one day was left until the Four Great Star Regions Grand Competition. All contestants were resting, waiting for the day of the contest. They were no longer gathering to drink or feast, most stayed in their rooms, meditating and waiting. Today was the day for the draw, and the announcement of the competition rules. Previously, Linmo had heard from Xuxiu that the competition would use sequence numbers from 1 to 500. Opponents would be determined based on the sequence numbers. Number 1 fights number 500, number 2 fights number 499, and so on. But how exactly the draw would be conducted remained a mystery. It couldn't possibly be truly random. There must be some unspoken rule. If it were truly random, it would violate the human race's original intention. If the strongest people met each other right at the start, it would clearly be unfair. In the midst of the quiet way, a familiar voice rang in his ear. Contestants will enter the arena in 10 minutes. Please prepare yourselves. Everyone automatically connected to the Human Emperor network. Seeing the countdown, in just a moment, half of the city dedicated to contestants became strangely deserted. Meanwhile, warships in the sky were still busy coming and going, continuously ferrying spectators and foreign guests. After 10 minutes, beams of light shot out from the city. Contestants were teleported to the arena. The circular arena, with a diameter of up to 100,000 kilometers, was suspended in space. Contestants stood scattered on the arena floor. The voice of the Human Emperor network echoed in the center of the arena. Now I will announce the drawing rules. Jade beads will appear above your heads. Each person can choose one bead they like. Each person can only choose one bead. The number inscribed on the jade bead is your competition number. The selection begins now. You have 10 minutes. Everyone looked up and saw countless sparkling jade beads appearing in the air, radiating brilliant light above their heads. There were many jade beads, numbering in the thousands, but there were only 499 contestants, so there was no need to scramble. According to the Human Emperor network, the jade beads are for selection. What exactly does this mean? Didn't they say drawing numbers from 1 to 500? Why the need to choose a jade bead? Is the number on the jade bead not fixed, only revealed upon holding it? Is the sequence number random or based on some rule? It's strange. The arena was momentarily buzzing. Everyone was puzzled. The contestants here were all of considerable strength, but not everyone had a keen mind to deduce anything. Linmo looked at the sparkling jade beads and mused, it's indeed not that simple. The sequence number would certainly be revealed after holding the jade bead, but the key was not the number itself, but the method of determining the number. The intention of the higher-ups was very clear. To find the strongest individuals. There could be no room for error, so the strongest individuals could not be allowed to meet each other right from the start. In a situation where they haven't fought before, how is strength determined? Linmo thought for more than 10 seconds and already had an answer in his heart. It looks random, but in reality, it's not random at all. On the contrary, it's meticulously arranged. Linmo nodded to Zhuan Bai. Senior brother Zhuan, when you choose a jade bead, use all your spiritual power. Zhuan Bai was stunned, then nodded. I understand. He was not an idiot. One sentence was enough for him to grasp the underlying principle. How to determine who is strong and who is weak. Aside from past battle records, the simplest way is to rely on spiritual power. Battle records were not always accurate, sometimes flawed, but still useful for reference. In fact, some people had no battle records, only cultivation realms, but the realm did not necessarily represent actual strength. Therefore, using spiritual power to differentiate would be relatively accurate. This was Linmo's guess. Be to 90% sure. Just go with it. I won't wait any longer. At this moment, someone unexpectedly shot up and grabbed a jade bead. As soon as he grasped the jade bead, a number appeared above his head. Number 432. Linmo observed everything. That person was a 7th stage god king. Among the contestants here, his rank was not high, but his combat strength was not bad. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been so outstanding in the preliminary round. In the preliminary round, the realm was suppressed to the 1st stage god king. The contest was not about the realm, but the ability to fight across realms. Fighting across realms was the essential ability of a genius. With a pioneer, others immediately followed. Another contestant, also a 7th stage god king, received number 408. A ninth stage God Kane contestant received number 96. Lin Mo observed carefully, gradually discovering the pattern. The higher the cultivation realm, the smaller the number received. Conversely, the lower the cultivation realm, the larger the number received. The cultivation realm did not necessarily equal combat strength, but it often represented spiritual power. However, some people had low cultivation realms but received relatively small numbers. According to Lin Mo's analysis, this person's spirit was not weak. Lin Mo mused, it seems my conjecture is mostly correct. It's fundamentally based on spiritual power to distribute the sequence numbers. It looks random, but it is actually not random at all. On the contrary, it is meticulously arranged. Lin Mo nodded to Chuang Bai. Chuang Bai understood. He softly shouted, his aura surging, and his spirit instantly erupted to its limit. He flew up and grabbed a jade bead. The jade bead shattered, and the number 4 appeared above his head. If it's based on spiritual power, his senior brother Zhuang's spirit only ranked 4th. It seems my conjecture was useful. The smaller the sequence number, the better. A smaller number meant the opponent encountered would have a larger number. This was a rule everyone knew. A larger number usually meant weaker strength, making the fight more comfortable. In truth, a slight difference in sequence number did not mean much initially, but as the competition progressed, the opponents encountered would become stronger and stronger. By then, encountering a strong opponent might affect the final ranking. After Chuang Bai received his sequence number, Shusheng imitated him, urging his spirit to grab a jade bead. His number was 5, 1 rank higher than Chuang Bai, but Shusheng didn't control his spirit as well as Chuang Bai. His action was quickly noticed. Smart people were abundant here, and they immediately understood the problem. I see, the sequence number is determined by spiritual power, that's right. The stronger the spirit, the smaller the number received, and the weaker the opponent encountered. Everyone excitedly urged their spirits to grab the sequence numbers. Lin Mo secretly shook his head. This method was useless now. It only worked when everyone was unaware at the beginning. When everyone urges their spirit, the human emperor network system still arranges the sequence numbers based on each person's spiritual power. Only the first few people benefited. Dong Fangzi laughed heartily. So it's spiritual power. His aura surged fiercely, and a terrifying pressure spread out. Dong Fangzi was as strong as ever. The days of rest had allowed him to recover to his original state. The supreme pressure of a minor god venerate made many people gasp for breath. Some even realized with disappointment that they were no match for Dong Fangzi. Good. Forget the pain from the knife's cut. Ridiculous. Lin Mo looked at Dong Fangzi and thought to himself, Dong Fangzi is even more arrogant and aggressive than before. It seems he didn't learn anything from the previous lesson. Dong Fangzi flew into the sky, his large hand grabbing a jade bead. The number 3 appeared above his head. He screamed mid-air, his face full of disbelief. Impossible. How could I only get number 3? I have already stepped into the law galaxy. My spirit is also 4th grade. How could I only be number 3? He roared in the air. The supreme pressure of the minor god venerate grew stronger. The other people in the sky were also suppressed by him, even affecting others trying to grab jade beads. Lin Mo watched, seeing Dong Fangzi becoming even more arrogant and aggressive than before. He truly didn't learn anything. Silence. A voice resounded from the center of the arena. Dong Fangzi cried out in pain and fell to the ground, looking quite disheveled. Before he could react, the voice of the human emperor network rang out again. Dong Fangzi's number 3, violating the grand competition discipline. Deduct 5 divine city merit points. Dong Fangzi glared like an angry rooster, jumping up and shouting, why? Everyone is using their pressure. Why only deduct mine? This is unfair. My spirit cannot be only number 3. His voice was thunderous, even overpowering the human emperor network's voice. A bolt of lightning struck down, hitting Dong Fangzi directly. His whole body smoked black, and his shouting instantly silenced. Dong Fangzi's number 3, disregarding the warning. Deduct another 10 divine city merit points. If you offend again, all divine city merit points will be deducted. Your qualification to participate in the grand competition will be revoked, and you will be expelled from the divine city. The human emperor network's warning sounded again, more stern than before. This time, Dong Fangzi dared not speak again. Although he was so angry that his body trembled, he only gritted his teeth and clenched his fists. He has already been deducted 15 divine city merit points. Although it's painful, he still has a chance to redeem himself. Lin Mo sighed, truly an idiot. Zhu Xiuxiu had made it clear when introducing the rules. If you have an opinion, remain silent and do not speak up. He believed Dong Fanghe also knew the rules. Yet he still argued. He was truly too conceited. He is only a minor god venerate, he's nothing to boast about. Just then, a clear voice rang out, "What a fool." The owner of the voice was a woman with a magnificent aura. King Fei from the Azure Dragon Star region. On Fire Seed Island, King Fei had once competed with Dong Fanghe for third place, leaving a deep impression. Cultivators from the Azure Dragon Star region were always sharp in their attacks, and their personalities were the same. She completely disregarded Dong Fanghe's feelings and gave a blunt assessment. Dong Fanghe was so angry that he gritted his teeth. His whole body was black, with only his white teeth visible. He wanted to refute, but ultimately stopped. If he made another mistake, he would lose his qualification to compete and even be expelled from the Divine City. His life would be over. King Fei transformed into an azure dragon, quickly flying into the sky, radiating a fourth-grade spiritual pressure. She gently grasped a jade bead. The bead shattered, and the number 2 appeared above her head. King Fei showed no disappointment. She merely glanced at Dong Fanghe with a provocative look before descending. From the number, it was clear that King Fei's spirit was stronger than Dong Fanghe's, but only slightly stronger. Indeed, Lin Mo also noticed that King Fei's spirit was only slightly stronger than Dong Fanghe's. If they were to fight, the outcome would be hard to predict. By this time, most people knew their numbers. Some were happy, others were sad. Lin Mo lightly flew up. His action immediately attracted the attention of many. Dong Fanghe, King Fei, Wei Bao and those who had been taught a lesson by Lin Mo on Fire Seed Island all stared intently at him. They wanted to see what number Lin Mo would get. Dong Fanghe focused on Lin Mo. "I want to see what number you draw." Even though Lin Mo's previous performance seemed brilliant, his cultivation was still only 4th stage God King. When he first entered Fire Seed Island, he was a 3rd stage God King. After spending time cultivating, he advanced by 1 stage. Thus, he was currently a 4th stage God King. It could be said that among the people present, Lin Mo's realm was only in the top 10. Lin Mo calmly flew up, not radiating any spiritual pressure, as light as a fallen leaf. He casually picked a jade bead. The jade bead burst open, and a brilliant light converged above Lin Mo's head. Before everyone, the number appeared, number 1. Lin Mo calmly landed on the ground, his demeanor completely natural. The entire process was so tranquil that it made people feel deeply unfathomable. How can his spirit be so strong? A monster, only a 4th stage God King. Yet his spirit is this powerful. His spirit surpasses all minor god venerates, at least the intermediate 4th grade spirit. How did he cultivate? Dong Fanghe's face was ashen. He stared at Lin Mo but did not show any expression. If he hadn't experienced the previous scene, he would certainly be unable to imagine it. He wanted to say something, but ultimately kept his mouth shut. He dared not speak now to avoid being punished. The shadow of the previous lightning strike still lingered, awakening him and making him realize his mistake. King Fei looked over, her fighting spirit surging. "I want to fight you." Lin Mo smiled. "Perhaps there will be a chance at the end of the contest." His meaning was very clear. Defeat everyone else first, then come find me. These words subtly exuded immense confidence. King Fei did not doubt him, and nodded. "All right, see you in the finals." The conversation between Lin Mo and King Fei was as if the two of them had already passed the preliminary rounds, completely disregarding everyone else. Dong Fanghe was so angry that he clenched his fists, but he still dared not say anything. In everyone's eyes, fighting spirit ignited. They were unconvinced, but most did not speak. Actions speak louder than words in the contest. 10 minutes later, everyone received their corresponding competition numbers. The jade beads vanished like bubbles. The voice of the Human Emperor Network rang out again, now announcing the rules of the contest. 1. Everyone's realm will be suppressed to 1st stage God King. 2. Only God King level and below magical treasures and puppets are allowed. 3. Spiritual attacks are forbidden. Violators will be executed. 4. Spiritual pressure is forbidden. 5. The loser is eliminated. The winner advances. 6. During the contest, no one is allowed to leave the grand competition city. Violators will be disqualified. The rules were very simple. Only 6 points, almost the same as what they knew beforehand. The voice of the Human Emperor Network rang out again. The contest will begin tomorrow. 10 minutes before the contest starts, all participants will be automatically teleported to the arena. Opponents in the contest will be determined by sequence number. Round 1, contestant number 2 fights contestant number 499. Contestant number 3 fights contestant number 498. Contestant number 1 receives a bye in round 1 and automatically advances to round 2. Initially, round 1 did not have a bye, but because Lin Mohan suddenly withdrew from the contest, round 1 now had 1 bye, which went to the number 1 seed contestant. Lin Mo naturally had the right to advance, which was beyond dispute. No one thought Lin Mo would be eliminated in round 1. Lin Mo guessed that if nothing unexpected happened, he would get another bye. From 499 people, 60 excellent individuals would be selected. A total of 5 rounds of matches would be necessary. After 5 rounds, the 16 experts would emerge, and the remaining 483 people would be eliminated. This was inevitable. The Divine City only had 100 slots. Subtracting the initial 99 slots, an additional 100 of the most excellent people from the 4 Great Star Regions contestants were to be selected to enter the Divine City. However, the knockout format was not suitable, so a Reborn group stage competition would be the most reasonable. Lin Mo thought of the hundreds of arenas in the grand competition. Combined with the previous competition's time, he muttered, the Reborn competition will definitely be brutal. He predicted that to complete the Reborn competition in a short time, the intensity of the battles would be very high, with almost no time for rest. The Reborn competition looked like a competition, but it was actually a continuous series of battles. Even if injured, there was hardly any time to recover. It resembled a true battlefield. Lin Mo immediately dismissed that thought. Battles on the battlefield would be even more brutal. The enemy would not give you a minute to rest. This could only be seen as a low-intensity, miniature version of a battlefield, simulating the situation of combat between 2 armies. Opponent after opponent, fighting non-stop. In battle, even if injured and depleted, the opponent could change at any moment. The Human Emperor Network used words very cautiously. It did not announce the specific rules of the Reborn competition, which indicated that the rules would have many changes. Lin Mo began to analyze instinctively. In the first round, he was on a bye, so he didn't need to worry about his opponent. Unlike others, who had already quickly focused on their opponents and begun to analyze them. At this moment, the voice of the Human Emperor Network rang out again. All contestant data has been issued. You can check it yourselves. The formation barrier rumbled open. Everyone's eye blurred, and they found themselves back in the grand competition city. Lin Mo was still sitting in the pavilion by the lake, his posture unchanged. The scene just now felt like a dream, hard to distinguish between reality and illusion. Even Lin Mo, with his 5th grade Violet Jade Soul Realm, was momentarily shaken. After a few seconds of thought, he could only say that the Human Emperor Network was too miraculous. Lin Mo felt that the level of the Human Emperor Network seemed to surpass the Beyond Shore realm. Initially, he thought that the Human Emperor Network was definitely a technique of the Beyond Shore realm. Now, he no longer thought so. The ordinary Beyond Shore realm did not possess this capability. Whether a Sage Lord had this ability, he could not yet determine. Both are Beyond Shore realm, so why does only the Sage Lord have this title? It was indeed worth pondering. The cultivation system was very strict. Any title was not naturally acquired. A Sage Lord definitely had an advantage over others in the Beyond Shore realm, or they wouldn't have this title. Is it purely immense power? That wasn't certain either. It seems everything must wait until I step into that realm before I can understand. It is too far away now. Overthinking is useless. Lin Mo's ears twitched. He looked towards the lake. A person was walking lightly on the water surface, as graceful as an immortal. He raised both hands, virtually creating a large bow. An arrow shot towards the lake. The arrow was silent, did not pierce the lake, but flew back. On the arrow were 2 large fish. Lin Mo laughed. Junior brother, T, are you planning to eat fish? There were fish in the lake. Lin Mo had seen them, but he hadn't thought about eating fish for the past few days. Xu Jingsing held the 2 large fish. The competition starts tomorrow. I must replenish my energy today. These fish are not bad. Lin Mo couldn't help but smile. Xu Jingsing found a good excuse. Xu Jingsing expertly scraped the scales and gutted the fish. His movements were so proficient that they were admirable. Clearly, he often grilled fish and was an expert. A flame erupted from his palm. He used a law to transform it into a fork, lifting the fish in the air. The fish rotated automatically in the air, requiring little effort from him. After a moment, the aroma wafted out. Xu Jingsing took out 2 gourds of fine wine from the Divine City. The competition is tomorrow. I can't drink too much today. 1 gourd each. It was not the first time Xu Jingsing had drunk with Lin Mo, but this time's wine was much better than the previous times. According to Xu Jingsing, this was precious wine he had collected, which he usually treasured too much to drink. Lin Mo was slightly surprised. Why did he take it out this time? And why choose this moment? The competition was tomorrow. Divine City wine was intoxicating, and could easily make even cultivators drunk. Su Jingsing tore off a piece of fish, disregarding the bones, and threw it into his mouth, chewing heartily. Then, he took a big gulp of strong wine. This style was completely different from Su Jingsing's usual elegant and refined demeanor, somewhat resembling Xu Shang. Lin Mo laughed heartily, looking at him. Is something bothering you? Hu Jingsing hummed. I expect to lose tomorrow. Hu Jingsing was only second stage God King, the lowest realm among the contestants. Even though Xu Jingsing's spiritual power was not bad, his draw number was only 490, the 10th from the bottom. His opponent, however, was a top 11 expert. Lin Mo remembered clearly that the 11th ranked person was Shui Chilin from the Black Tortoise Star region, a minor god venerate. It must be said that those with sequence numbers in the top 40 were all minor god venerates. They were either seed contestants or outstanding individuals who passed the preliminary rounds from the 4 great star regions. Shui Jilin, even among minor god venerates, was not ordinary, especially her external defense capability, which was astonishing. Against her, Su Jingsing truly had no hope of winning. Lin Mo did not console Xu Jingsing. Consolation was useless. Lin Mo softly said, actually, winning or losing tomorrow is not important. Xu Jingsing was slightly startled. Why do you say that? Lin Mo replied, as long as you don't make it into the top 16, the wins and losses before that are not too important. The important part is the round, robin stage. The round, robin stage is where junior brother can fully display his talent. Lin Mo analyzed his own conjecture about the round, robin stage. Xu Jingsing's eyes lit up. He had experienced life and death on the battlefield. Although his realm was inferior to others, in terms of experience and combat skills, he was definitely superior to many other contestants. In an instant, Xu Jingsing thought of many things: how to conserve energy, how to deliver a fatal blow, how to maintain the advantage in a prolonged battle to achieve good results. The round robin stage was beneficial to him, at least much better than the direct knockout stage. Xu Jingsing's eyes shone brightly. Thank you, senior brother Lin. Lin Mo smiled. So, the wine you brought was not wasted. Xu Jingsing laughed heartily. This gourd of wine is too valuable. Lin Mo smiled as he ate the fish and asked junior brother Xu, you are a disciple of the Xu family. Why did you choose to temper yourself on the battlefield? As far as I know, the influential families in the Divine City all have their own cultivation places. There is no need to go to the battlefield. If you need stellar fire, with the Xu family's power, it wouldn't be hard to get. Furthermore, your participation in the 4 Great Star Region's grand competition seems too early. Perhaps the 7-colored stellar fire is hard to find, but the 4-colored and 5-colored stellar fire are not difficult to collect. Moreover, given Xu Jingsing's realm in the 4 Great Star Region's grand competition, he definitely won't achieve good results. Participating in the competition might not be a good thing. Xu Jingsing sighed. Our Xu family demands a lot from our disciples. They have to leave the family very early to temper themselves. The family evaluates, overall based on the achievements made during the tempering process. Sometimes, failure is not important. What's important is, what did you do? Did you do it or not? Lin Mo pondered Xu Jingsing's words. Your ancestor has great foresight, allowing their descendants to temper themselves outside, facing life and death. Such an ancestor requires not only wisdom, but also absolute decisiveness. Xu Jingsing gulped down the wine. I think so too, but I still find it a bit hard to understand. Lin Mo said with an indifferent expression. Do such high-level figures need others to understand what they do? That's ridiculous. Senior brother Lin is very right, Xu Jingsing agreed. The two chatted and finished the grilled fish, drinking all the wine. Xu Jingsing was dead drunk, slumped on the table, snoring soundly. Divine City wine, when it intoxicated the spirit, was quick to rise and quick to subside. In at most 2 to 3 hours, one would be completely sober. Not only did it leave no aftereffects, but the spirit would also become clearer than usual. This kind of wine also had the effect of cleansing the spirit. As long as one didn't drink excessively, it was harmless and beneficial. Lin Mo's eyes remained clear. With the quality of his spirit, this kind of wine could not affect him at all. He looked at the ripples on the lake. In this world without day or night, without 4 seasons, he found a unique beauty. His consciousness stirred, and his spirit connected to the Human Emperor Network. Opening the data sent by the Human Emperor Network, it contained information about all the participating contestants, including their cultivation realms, backgrounds, and battle records. If one was smart and meticulous, one could analyze a lot of information from these materials, even finding opponents' weaknesses to target. Lin Mo fully understood why the Human Emperor Network did this. Reading these materials was like looking at a military intelligence report, from which one could analyze the enemy's weaknesses and apply corresponding strategies. The effectiveness was the same. Mastering and understanding the information in the materials would be extremely helpful in the round robin stage. Even if it's useless to me, there's no harm in reading. Lin Mo brewed another pot of tea. While drinking tea, he read the materials, gaining a better understanding of the human race's younger generation. After reading for a while, Lin Mo was slightly startled. He did not know when he had been able to look down and observe others. His mindset was gradually changing, but the root of this change was strength. Only by being strong enough could one stand higher and see further. Lin Mo would not be complacent with the present. He knew he could stand even higher. Today, he was a god king. In the future, he would be a god venerate, or even stronger. Time passed quietly. More than 2 hours later, Su Jianxing woke up. He had no after effects. On the contrary, his spirit looked brighter. Lin Mo smiled. Go and prepare a little. The grand competition is about to start. Su Jianxing smiled. In fact, there is nothing to prepare. What needed to be prepared is already done. Lin Mo hummed. Don't worry about today's match result. Just do your best. Read the materials sent by the Human Emperor Network carefully. They will be useful for the round robin stage. Su Jianxing's spirit slightly vibrated. He understood. A few hours later, Lin Mo suddenly felt something. He looked up at the sky. The formation barrier in the air silently lit up. 10,000 starlight points from all directions were sucked in, transforming into billions of light beams that shot into the formation. The formation began to operate, rumbling fiercely. It was truly operating now. The starlight transformed into endless energy, driving this colossal grand formation that covered hundreds of star systems. The entire star base shone brightly. Everyone in Grand Competition City felt this. They looked up. Immediately after, a majestic and authoritative voice rang out. The 360th Four Great Star Regions Grand Competition officially begins. The first round of the knockout stage will be held today. All contestants, please prepare yourselves. Cheers and excitement echoed through Grand Competition City. Every contestant could not hide their excitement. Lin Mo frowned. He sensed an invisible energy wave from the grand formation acting on everyone, making them excited and their spirits fervent. This would help them exert their full abilities in the grand competition, making the event more exciting. A powerful force from the formation is trying to invade my spirit, but my spirit is too strong to be affected. Therefore, Lin Mo remained as calm as ever, without a ripple. He knew this formation was extremely powerful, far beyond his ability to resist. The current emotional influence was just a minor, insignificant effect within the vast grand formation. If the formation truly operated at full power, even a peak god venerate like Jiuqi would find it difficult to resist. Beams of light shot out from the formation, sending the participating contestants to the arenas. News spread everywhere. People could choose to watch the matches via projection in the city or go to the spectator stands outside the arenas to enjoy the live experience, but they had to pay a fee, which cost a considerable amount of accrued points. The formation continuously operated. The arenas were activated one after another. Contestants were successively sent to their positions. Round 1 of the grand competition. Except for Lin Mo, who received a bye, the remaining 498 people would contest 249 matches. The 4 Great Star Regions had a total of 100 arenas, but currently, only 10 arenas were activated. Clearly, the matches were not held simultaneously. Each group of 10 arenas had 20 people, 10 pairs of matches. Number 2 fights number 499, number 3 fights number 498, number 4 fights number 497. The grand formation projected images from the arenas onto the entire human star base. On all inhabited planets of the 4 Great Star Regions, the match developments could be followed live. The Human Emperor Network had never operated so powerfully. For the 4 Great Star Regions grand competition, the Human Emperor Network mobilized an immense force. Lin Mo flashed and appeared on the roof of his room. His eyes pierced through tens of thousands of meters, looking into the distance. In the distance where projections of each match had appeared, he saw Su Jianxing in the projection. Su Jianxing was very relaxed, his eyes calm, showing no sign of tension. This is a good state of mind. Lin Mo knew he had adjusted his mentality well, and no longer cared about winning or losing. Unlike Su Jianxing, some other contestants looked very nervous when facing opponents stronger than themselves. In the other arenas, Zhuang Bei, Xu Sham, Dong Fanzi, King Fei, and Wei Baoan, the top-ranked contestants, were all present. Next, the Human Emperor Network began to introduce the contestants' information. There were 10 minutes until the matches began, enough time for the Human Emperor Network to introduce all the contestants. 10 minutes later, the grand competition officially began. Dong Fangzi struck first. He did not use any magical treasures. His law domain immediately opened. More than half of the arena transformed into a world of fire. He comprehended the fiery explosion law, a second-level law, a variant of the fire element law, with immense power. This law was true to its name, extremely explosive, igniting upon contact. Within the law domain, fire light continuously appeared, and then exploded. The sound of explosions rocked the sky. His opponent was flung into the air, falling to the ground unable to get up. With just one move, the winner was decided. All of them were first stage god kings, but the difference in combat strength was vast. Those who could participate in this knockout round were not weak. At the very least, they could defeat opponents of the same rank, perhaps even fight across realms. But unfortunately, they ran into Dong Fangzi. His higher realm, even suppressed a first stage god king, still allowed him to rival a sixth stage god king. Dong Fangzi looked up, his face arrogant, looking down at his opponent. Very quickly, Zhuang Bei, King Fei, and Xu Sheng also defeated their opponents. However, they were not as merciless as Dong Fangzi's. They gave their opponents a chance, at least fighting for 2 exchanges before claiming victory. Du Jingxing's match was the same. He faced Shui Jilan, who had powerful defensive capabilities. Shui Jilan on Fireseed Island had also competed with Dong Fangzi for the top 3 positions. Later, due to some reasons, her ranking dropped. Du Jingxing drew his bow, and a barrage of sharp arrows, like a meteor shower, shot out. Shui Jilan did not move. She merely deployed her law domain gently. A thick layer of ice rose before her, blocking all of Xu Jingxing's attacks. Only after Xu Jingxing finished his attack did she make her move. In just 1 second, Xu Jingxing was enveloped in white light, turning into an ice statue, unable to move. The first 10 matches concluded easily. In less than 2 minutes, the matches were over. They were teleported away by the Human Emperor Network, making way for the next group of contestants. The sequence numbers were divided based on spiritual strength. This method separated all the experts, making the weak and the strong clash from the very beginning. The initial few matches were unremarkable. The strength difference was too great. In other words, the first few matches were not very exciting, mostly crushing the opponent. Only as the sequence numbers progressed did the matches become more balanced and dramatic. Lin Mo was no longer interested in watching the subsequent matches. With his experience, these matches were like child's play. His gaze swept over, and he saw Du Jingxing approaching, one hand holding a gourd of wine, the other carrying delicious food. It seems he plans to get drunk again today. In reality, ignoring the loss was acceptable, but there would inevitably be some disappointment. Lin Mo understood this complex state of mind. Du Jingxing loudly called out, "Senior brother Lin, let's drink wine." Lin Mo smiled, looking behind Xu Jingxing. Zhuang Bai and Xu Sheng also arrived. It's going to be lively today. The competition, orchestrated by the Human Emperor Network, proceeded methodically. Match after match, as the sequence numbers of the contestants became closer, the petals were no longer one-fatted. The 2 sides began to duel, and the match time also extended. Especially when the cultivators from the Black Tortoise Star region entered the arena, the matches dragged on endlessly, even becoming tedious. The Human Emperor Network did not wait for them to finish the match but immediately opened new arenas, continuing the subsequent matches. A total of 249 matches were fought over 3 days. Lin Mo, Xu Jingxing, Zhuang Bei, and Xu Sheng drank and feasted for 3 days. Xu Jingxing alternated between being drunk and sober, repeating the cycle. During this time, he became acquainted with Zhuang Bei and Xu Sheng. On the 4th day, round 2 of the 4 Great Star Regions Grand Competition began. Round 1 eliminated half the people. Lin Mo also participated in round 2, with a total of 125 matches. Lin Mo's opponent was contestant number 275, named Xin, from the Black Tortoise Star region, an 8th stage god king. In round 1, his opponent was contestant number 226, from the Vermilion Bird Star region, a 9th stage god king. Logically, contestant number 226 had a clear advantage, but Xin relied on his resolute defense enduring all of the opponent's attacks. In the end, he successfully defeated his opponent and advanced to the next round. Not many people could turn the tide like him. Lin Mo was teleported to the arena, seeing his opponent. Xin was a slightly chubby young man, looking quite amiable. Xin greeted Lin Mo. "It's good to meet you." Lin Mo noticed he was very nervous, his speech slightly trembling. Lin Mo smiled. No need to be nervous. I'll give you 1 minute. I will counterattack. Avton's eyes widened. Really? Lin Mo nodded. Really? Lin Mo felt countless gazes watching him intently. On the arena, one could not see the spectator stands, which helped martial artists avoid distraction, but the arena could not block Lin Mo's spiritual perception. He knew his reputation was already immense. Countless people were paying attention to him, including humans and foreign races. Lin Mo did not care. He had long been at the top of the enemy races hit lists. What were these gazes? In the spectator stands, countless people were indeed watching Lin Mo, including god venerates from all-star regions, star domain lords, and patriarchs and elders of major families. They were all very interested in this suddenly rising young man. This is Lin Mo. He's called the second god of war. He looks so young and ordinary. He seems weak, not like a fighter at all. Do you think the human race is like your race? The bigger the head, the stronger the person. You can't judge the strength of a human by their appearance. 10 minutes passed, and the match officially began. Austin roared like an angry beast. His body immediately swelled up like a water sphere, reaching a diameter of 20 feet. The law he comprehended burst forth. More than half of the arena transformed into a water world. Above his head, the illusion of a colossal beast appeared. The beast had a dragon head and a turtle body, with a long tail that resembled a dragon and a snake. The black tortoise manifested, lifelike. If he reached the minor god venerate realm, his strength would not be weak. Austin continuously transformed the black tortoise illusion. Even his own body transformed into a black tortoise colossal beast. He roared and rushed towards Lin Mo. Since Lin Mo had said he wouldn't counterattack for 1 minute, Austin attacked with his full strength, without hesitation. Cultivators of the black tortoise star region were not known for their offense, but that did not mean they couldn't attack. In fact, their offensive power was quite strong. They just excelled more at defense. The black tortoise illusion brought surging waves, engulfing Lin Mo. But Lin Mo stood there, unharmed. The black tortoise illusion battered it, and whipped its long tail. The water waves transformed into colossal hands and sharp weapons, raining down on Lin Mo. Lin Mo remained unperturbed, accepting all the attacks. His expression did not even change. A faint golden aura covered his body, blocking all the attacks. Austin attacked madly, using all his techniques, but none could shake Lin Mo. In 1 minute, the God King unleashed thousands of attacks, but to Lin Mo, all the attacks were the same. He did not even need to use any techniques. With just his Divine King golden body, he easily blocked all the attacks without any injury. Just as I guessed, the formation restricts the realm, but not the physical strength. Divine King golden body is not restricted. Austin became increasingly terrified as he attacked. Lin Mo was covered by a thin golden aura, and yet he couldn't do anything to him. What is this golden aura? Is it a technique? Or a magical treasure? Why is it so hard? I can't beat him. I absolutely can't beat him. Austin had exhausted all his strength, but he couldn't move Lin Mo's defense. That thin golden aura was terrifyingly solid. Suddenly, a voice rang in Lin Mo's ear. 1 minute has passed. Austin trembled. His body flew backward. In an instant, he switched from offense to defense. He retracted his law domain, which transformed into layers upon layers of towering ice walls. The black tortoise illusion enveloped his body. Austin huddled inside. Cultivators of the black tortoise star region were famous for their defense. Relying on his solid defense, he had fortunately won the first match. Lin Mo did not rush to attack but observed him carefully with an interested look. 2 seconds later, Lin Mo took a step, instantly appearing before Austin. He casually threw a punch. It looked completely powerless, but a trace of golden light flashed on his fist. Austin's seemingly solid defense instantly crumbled upon contact with the golden light. The ice shattered, and the black tortoise illusion dispersed on the spot. In Austin's horrified eyes, Lin Mo's seemingly soft and weak fist landed on his body. Austin was sent flying. His body felt like all his bones were about to break. Every part of his body itched. But he was astonished to find that apart from the pain, he was completely unharmed. There wasn't even a scratch on his skin. Lin Mo's control over his strength had reached an astonishing level. At this moment, Austin understood that there was an immeasurable gap between him and Lin Mo. A few seconds later, Austin stumbled to his feet, cupping his hands towards Lin Mo. Thank you for showing mercy. I concede. The formation operated. The two vanished from the arena in an instant. In the spectator stands, everyone who watched the match was stunned. Almost no one understood how Lin Mo did it. This was an era where body cultivation had been forgotten. Not many people practiced body cultivation, so naturally, they didn't understand. A few god venerates gathered. They perceived a clue. A god venerate from the Black Tortoise Star region whispered, "This is the Divine King Golden Body. I didn't expect Linmo to cultivate his body to the Divine King realm. This terrifying young man, only a little over 30 years old, yet he has reached this level. How did he cultivate? How did he cultivate his body? Is there a shortcut? Who said there's no shortcut? Have you forgotten the special zone in the Vermilion Bird Star region battlefield? Haha, calling that a shortcut. That's a place that takes lives." The god venerates chatted lively. Their curiosity about Linmo grew stronger. If it weren't for the rules, they would immediately want to question him. A god venerate said, "Why is Linmo's data hidden? Even we are not allowed to view it." Someone immediately reply, "It can be considered a way to protect him. You also know the situation of our human race. There are quite a few spies lurking around. Those damned parasites must be completely eradicated sooner or later. Killing is not enough. We must exterminate the entire clan." The killing intent of these god venerates was intense. They were human warriors who had served on the battlefield for half their lives, fighting side by side. What they hated most were spies. Kill one upon sight. Linmo's first appearance was a complete success. He proved his strength to everyone. Immediately after the match ended, he harvested a large amount of faith power. Countless streams of faith power pierced through spatial boundaries, pouring onto him. In just 1 hour, the amount of faith power he obtained exceeded 1/3 of his previous total. Linmo felt the faith power magical energy source, unrestricted by space. No matter how far away, it could arrive instantly. It could even penetrate formations. The as-if, non-existent faith power definitely has even more magical uses. After the grand competition ends, I will take a trip to the White Tiger Star region. I wonder if the Divine City there has any information about faith power. A brilliant light flashed in Linmo's eyes. Since perfectly advancing to God King, he had realized the wonder of faith power. Currently, he had only explored a small part. It certainly had more magical uses and was worth researching further. Round 2 was much more intense than Round 1. Especially after the strongest contestants finished their matches. The strength gap among the remaining people quickly narrowed. Closely matched battles were always more exciting than one-sided crushing defeats. Round 2 had half the number of matches compared to Round 1. However, the time still lasted nearly 3 days, not much faster than Round 1. The strength of the contestants was increasingly closer, making the matches extremely intense. In particular, a few matches between contestants from the Black Tortoise Star region lasted for hours, some even up to 10 hours. Linmo no longer followed the later matches. Xu Jingxing, an excellent commentator, would update Linmo on the latest match situation. Even without observing directly, Linmo grasped the results. In fact, he didn't even need to observe. Paying attention to the online rankings was enough. But that lacked the excitement. In Round 2, not many surprises occurred. Only 2 high-ranked contestants managed to stage a spectacular comeback. Everyone knew that the truly exciting matches were still ahead. The genuinely powerful contestants from major forces had not yet taken the competition seriously. On the 7th day of the 4 Great Star Regions Grand Competition, Round 3 officially began. This time, there were only 125 participants, and 1 person received a bye. The person who received the bye should have been Linmo, but 1 person in Round 2 used a forbidden technique. Although he won the opponent, he suffered the backlash of the forbidden technique and lost the ability to continue the competition. Therefore, the number of contestants in Round 3 was only 124, enough to form 62 pairs of matches. From this round onward, most contestants ranked above 200 were eliminated. Currently, the highest-ranked remaining contestant was number 189. The 189th ranked contestant, Shunli Chenjian meaning smooth sailing, became Linmo's opponent. Contestant number 189 was from the Azure Dragon Star region, named King Shaksho, a 9th stage god king. King Shaksho was not tall. Her appearance was beautiful, her eyes sharp, and her youthful demeanor indicated little worldly experience. She was clearly cultivated at home from a young age. In Linmo's view, King Shaksho was a pampered young lady who had not experienced the harshness of society. On the arena, Linmo looked at King Shaksho. In his ear, King Fei's clear voice still lingered. When stepping onto the arena, King Fei had whispered to her, reminding her to be merciful. King Shaksho was King Fei's younger sister, and King Fei knew her sister was no match for Linmo, which was why she gave the advice. Linmo also had no intention of striking hard, so this was not difficult. King Shaksho glared intently at Linmo, her face unconvinced. My sister told me about you. She said you are very strong. At that time, she was not on the seed list and could not enter Fireseed Island, so everything she knew about Lin Mo came from King Fei's account. Lin Mo indifferently replied, so. Thing Xiaoqiao said, I don't believe it. I don't believe a 4th stage god king can be so strong. I am a 9th stage god king. I must be stronger than you. Lin Mo looked at her slightly arrogant expression. When you were at home, everyone probably praised you as a genius, right? Thing Xiaoqiao was done. How did you know? Yes, they did. Lin Mo guessed that King Xiaoqiao came from a good family, and was the youngest daughter. Since childhood, she had been pampered like a princess. Whether it was missions or cultivation, someone sheltered her. Her strength and experience were not bad, but her personality was very simple. In fact, it was evident in her words and actions. She had a bit of arrogance, but no malice. In this young lady's perception, I am a genius. No one can be more talented than me. If Lin Mo were an 8th stage god king, stronger than her, she might believe it. But Lin Mo was only a 4th stage god king, far inferior to her. Even if they were both suppressed to 1st stage god king, the gap was still vast. There was no way he could be stronger than her. Lin Mo asked, do you know why I am number 1? Feng Shuxiao snorted. My sister said your spirit is very strong, but perhaps you have a magical treasure that assists the spirit. Lin Mo asked, in a tone like he was coaxing a child. My sister's words are very reasonable. That is indeed possible. King Xiaoqiao put her hands on her hips, looking like a little princess who had been agreed with. I told you, the human emperor network is not flawless. Lin Mo found this little girl quite interesting. She had a strong personality, and was a bit willful. He asked, so what do you plan to do? King Xiaoqiao replied, of course, I plan to beat you. I want to prove to you who the real genius is. Lin Mo nodded. All right. King Xiaoqiao said again, but you must not go easy on me. You must use all your strength. Lin Mo shook his head. Don't worry. I definitely won't go easy on you. This girl, is this the 4 Great Star Region's grand competition? Who would be stupid enough to go easy on her? At most, I'll strike lightly and not injure her. Lin Mo thought to himself. I must find a way to defeat this little girl later. I must make her wholeheartedly convinced without making her lose too much face. Should I pretend to fight a few rounds with her? A few rounds. At least 10 rounds should be enough. Or maybe a few more rounds. At least enough for her to lose without looking too bad. Suddenly, King Xiaoqiao shook it. Are you looking down on me? Lin Mo hadn't had time to reply, but King Xiaoqiao continued. You don't need to explain. I can feel it. My talent tells me that you are looking down on me. You are thinking about how to let me lose without losing too much face, right? Lin Mo was truly stunned this time. What kind of talent is this? Can she read people's minds? King Xiaoqiao glared at Lin Mo, and a blue light flashed in her eyes. Lin Mo felt his spirit vibrate. An invisible force seemed to be trying to penetrate his mind. His spirit trembled slightly, and that force was instantly crushed. King Xiaoqiao shook, let out a cry and closed her eyes. A few seconds later, she opened her eyes, stomped her foot angrily. It's infuriating. If my power wasn't restrained, I would definitely be able to see what you are thinking. Lin Mo was now certain. King Xiaoqiao truly had this special talent, the ability to read people's thoughts. This was an extremely bizarre, spiritual level talent. Previously, in the minor world, he had heard the great emperor speak about mysterious matters, assuming that everyone in the great world had talent, and even after becoming a super god, most people could not retain their talent, but there were still many experts who did. After all, this is the great world. At that time, he had imagined many things, but upon reaching the great world, he discovered that it was not the case at all. Although the great world had countless experts, very few retained their talents. He had seen that only 1 person in 10,000 experts retained their talent. Even the seed contestants on Fireseed Island, including the geniuses in the Divine City and the God of War Palace, not many possessed talent. Of course, many others had not revealed their talent, so the exact number was hard to determine. Lin Mo smiled. Your talent is very marvelous. You can hear what others are thinking. King Xiaoqiao snorted. Don't think I'll be polite. Although I can't fully hear what you're thinking, I can sense the general idea. You are looking down on me in your heart. Just wait and see how I deal with you later. Looking at the little girl, who was a head shorter than him, boldly declaring she would deal with him, Lin Mo found it amusing. He chuckled, thinking to himself, we'll see who deals with whom. Little girl, you don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. King Xiaoqiao's eyes almost spit fire. She cried out, you're killing me. You keep insulting me. What are you insulting me about? I'll chop you up. Seeing King Shaoxiao's angry face, which was about to explode, Linmo tried to suppress his laughter. This is truly fun. The whole process was like teasing a child. 10 minutes passed. King Shaoxia, like a little tiger gone wild, rushed to attack Linmo, crying and shouting. A long green sword appeared in her hand. As soon as it appeared, 267 dragon roars rang out, the momentum extremely majestic. Azure Dragon Slash. King Shaoxiao softly shuddered. The long sword transformed into an azure dragon, rushing straight towards Linmo. Legend has it that the ancestor of 10,000 dragons once bestowed the Azure Dragon Star region with primordial dragon blood. Under the nourishment of the dragon blood, the Azure Dragon Star region gave birth to many marvels. Later, when the human race occupied the Azure Dragon Star region, people discovered that those born here had a certain probability of carrying a trace of primordial dragon blood power. This trace of dragon blood could enhance their techniques and boost their strength. Because of this, the Azure Dragon Star region was renowned for its offense, ranking first among the 4 great star regions. If the realm wasn't restricted, with the strength of a 9th stage god king, King Shaoxiao's attack power could rival a minor god venerate. Even with the current restriction, her attack was still extremely sharp, equivalent to a 4th to 5th stage god king. Linmo quickly judged. His Divine King Golden Body automatically activated, forming a defense. But this time, the Divine King Golden Body alone was not enough. Linmo punched towards the charging Azure Dragon. His physical strength exploded completely at this moment. Golden light was brilliant. A colossal golden fist appeared in the void, shattering the Azure Dragon. The Azure Dragon broke apart. King Shaoxiao was sent flying, but quickly stabilized her body in mid-air. Her face still refused to concede. She raised her sword again. The dragon roar grew fiercer, echoing through the void. She deployed her law domain. The colossal domain covered more than half of the arena, completely surrounding Linmo. The dragon roar became increasingly fierce. Lightning appeared in the domain. Countless azure dragons emerged again, each flashing with brilliant lightning. The lightning law, enhanced by the primordial dragon blood, was truly formidable. Linmo assessed carefully. Each azure dragon in the domain was much stronger than the previous Azure Dragon Slash. The power was greater, and the number was 10,000 times more. This is King Shaoxiao's true strength. King Shaoxiao coldly snorted, "I'll bite you to death." The azure dragons rushed forward, their colossal mouths biting towards Linmo. Lightning crackled around the azure dragons, causing thunderous roars. Lightning light flashed. The golden protective light of the Divine King Golden Body was penetrated by the lightning. Linmo continuously punched out. Golden light exploded, shattering the azure dragons near him. Although the azure dragons were shattered, a large amount of lightning still struck Linmo. The golden protective light grew weaker. Azure dragons attacked from all directions. Linmo continuously evaded. Suddenly, he noticed an abnormality. No matter which direction he evaded, a large number of azure dragons would be waiting there. He glanced at King Shaoxiao in the distance. She anticipated my action. Linmo realized that King Shaoxiao's talent was not just simply reading other people's thoughts. In combat, she could also predict the opponent's actions, always maintaining the initiative. Does her talent relate to the fate law or the time law? He wondered. As far as Linmo knew, only these 2 types of law could achieve this. Both had the ability to predict the future. But that was just a conjecture. Not necessarily accurate. Perhaps there were other powers he didn't know about. The stronger he became, the more mysteries Linmo saw, making him even more humble and cautious. While evading, Linmo realized he seemed to have fallen into the Azure Dragon's encirclement. But he had no intention of avoiding it. King Shaoxiao's clear voice rang out at the right time. "Linmo, you have no way to escape." She declared her victory, as if she had already seen Linmo's defeat. No way to escape. It seems so. Then I simply won't run. Linmo remained cold, the corner of his mouth curving into a slight smile. King Shaoxiao thought he was looking down under. She gritted her teeth and attacked with full force. Azure Dragon Lightning Sea. Countless azure dragons rushed from all directions, their mouths widely open, tearing and shredding. Their bodies exploded into countless bolts of lightning, transforming the surroundings into a sea of thunder. The dragon roar echoed through the heavens, unceasing. In the spectator stance, everyone who witnessed the terrifying scene changed their expressions. The scene was too shocking. Centered around Linmo, the area for thousands of miles transformed into a sea of thunder. Especially where Linmo stood, the Azure Dragon lightning surged, its power astonishing. Even restricted to the 1st stage God King realm, it could still unleash such power. The techniques of the Azure Dragon Star region are truly powerful. This is the little princess of the King family. Azure Dragon Star region. The King family is one of the leading families. If it were an ordinary cultivator, this single strike would be enough to severely injure them. I wonder if Lin Mo can withstand it. He is called the second god of war, he must have his own means. The discussions were ceaseless. Everyone had their own opinions. People were different from objects. The ordinary spectators and the group of god venerates sat separately. More than 20 god venerates gathered in one place were also observing the battle between Lin Mo and King Xiaoxiao. Lin Mo must have been looking down on her. This time, I'm afraid he'll run into a little trouble. What did the two of them say earlier? King Xiaoxiao seemed very angry. I didn't see Lin Mo say anything. I heard this little princess of the King family has a special talent that allows her to sense the opponent's thoughts. That explains it. Perhaps Lin Mo didn't speak, but he thought something unpleasant in his heart, provoking the little princess. Let's wait and see how Lin Mo handles it. On the arena, lightning ravaged everything. Lin Mo was completely engulfed, with no movement at all. King Xiaoxiao continuously increased the power of the lightning. Her eyes gradually showed doubt. As the master of the lightning sea, King Xiaoxiao clearly felt that Lin Mo was still within the lightning sea, completely unharmed. How can he withstand it? Impossible. I don't believe you can keep defending forever. King Xiaoxiao was unconvinced. She gritted her teeth and exerted her power once more. The lightning grew even more intense, and the entire arena shook violently. Suddenly, the sea of thunder surged fiercely. Lin Mo calmly walked out of the lightning sea. Lin Mo walked out of the sea of thunder, completely unharmed, his expression still tranquil. He smiled at King Xiaoxiao. This fierce smile made King Xiaoxiao even angrier. She was extremely annoyed by that expression. Controlling the lightning sea, King Xiaoxiao shouted, "You can't escape." A swarm of azure dragons carrying lightning rushed over. Lin Mo sighed softly, "My necromancy is mainly for killing, not very suitable for dueling." As soon as he finished speaking, he snapped his fingers. 10 skeleton god warriors suddenly appeared beside him. The skeleton god warriors raised their axes and chopped down neatly, shattering the charging azure dragons. They continued to rush forward, moving with lightning speed, chopping down all the surrounding azure dragons. King Xiaoxiao was stunned. Her swarm of azure dragons was easily annihilated. These skeletons are clearly very difficult to deal with, their power astonishing. A second later, King Xiaoxiao yelled, "Human Emperor Network, he cheated, he used God King Realm puppets." The Human Emperor Network did not respond. King Xiaoxiao complained again, but still no response. Lin Mo found it amusing. He didn't expect King Xiaoxiao to pull such a stunt. Use your head a little. Are you stupid, or is the Human Emperor Network stupid? His words sounded helpless. This proud little princess seems a bit lacking in common sense. King Xiaoxiao suddenly understood. No one could cheat under the eyes of the Human Emperor Network. This proved that these skeletons were not puppets but were created by Lin Mo's technique. The Human Emperor Network still did not react. King Xiaoxiao gave up. She glared at Lin Mo, her aura undiminished. "They are not puppets. Then they are your techniques." Lin Mo softly said, "You keep talking." King Xiaoxiao said clearly, "Summoners are all from the Black Tortoise Star region. You are clearly from the Vermilion Bird Star region. Could it be that you are actually from the Black Tortoise Star region, but grew up in the Vermilion Bird Star region?" Lin Mo sighed. "You have a very rich imagination. Alright, it's my turn to attack now." The few skeleton god warriors immediately rushed towards King Xiaoxiao. They were lightning fast, reaching King Xiaoxiao in an instant. King Xiaoxiao let out a strange cry, and turned to flee. At the same time, the bracelet on her wrist emitted a faint light. The light flashed, and King Xiaoxiao's speed instantly increased. She shot away for thousands of miles at astonishing speed. As the little princess of the King family, King Xiaoxiao certainly had many treasures on her. The Human Emperor Network only restricted the level of the treasures, not the quantity. Lin Mo saw that not only the bracelet, but also the earrings, the belt, and even the thick robe she wore were all magical treasures. But in Lin Mo's opinion, having more treasures was useless. The skeleton god warriors pursued King Xiaoxiao. King Xiaoxiao urged her bracelet. The bracelet transformed into faint wings, significantly increasing her speed. At this moment, the skeleton god warriors could not catch up. King Xiaoxiao gradually calmed down. She activated her earrings. The earrings transformed into small swords, stabbing towards Lin Mo. The swords were very fast, and their attack power was not weak, but Lin Mo did not care. He did not evade. The sword pierced Lin Mo's body, penetrating the protective aura, but was blocked by a faint white light. The hell of skeletons enveloped Lin Mo, transforming into armor for him. He clapped his hands again. 3 Death Knights appeared. The Death Knights rode war horses. Undead flames burned on the horses' hooves, a grayish-white color. They held swords and shields, looking extremely fierce and terrifying. After appearing, the Death Knights transformed into streaks of light, rushing towards King Xiaoqiu. Their speed was much faster than the skeleton god warriors. With their charge ability, they caught up to King Xiaoqiu in an instant. Their colossal figures crashed into King Xiaoqiu. She was sent flying uncontrollably. The robe on her body lit up, absorbing most of the impact force. But even so, King Xiaoqiu felt like her body was about to shatter, the pain immense. The Death Knights unexpectedly appeared before her a second time. Their sharp swords swung out, slamming down. King Xiaoqiu was frightened and froze, unable to react in time. The thick boots on her feet automatically activated, helping her twist her body, narrowly dodging the sword. It was miraculous, but she only managed to dodge one sword. Before she could recover, another Death Knight rushed over, sending King Xiaoqiu flying. Her protective robe lit up again, but the light was much weaker. The impact force was stronger, and the pain was doubled. Tears streamed down her face. As the little princess of the King family, when had she ever endured such pain? But a battle was a battle, the opponent would not show mercy. She saw the third Death Knight charging towards her, stabbing straight at her. Her bones felt like they were about to shatter. She was sent flying again. The light from her magical treasure completely vanished. The magical treasure had lost its effect. In despair, suddenly, her vision went black. Lin Mo appeared. A large hand rapidly enlarged before her eyes. King Xiaoqiu only felt her neck being tightly grasped. That hand clenched her neck. Concede, Lin Mo's cold, calm voice rang out in her ear. That voice made her shudder. If she did not concede, in the next second, Lin Mo would crush her neck and shatter her brain. Her mind went blank. The instinct for survival surged. King Xiaoqiu struggled as it conceded. As soon as she spoke, both of them received a notification from the Human Emperor Network. Match concluded. Lin Mo wins. Lin Mo released King Xiaoqiu. I apologize for the offense. Little girl. King Xiaoqiu gasped for breath, not yet recovering. In her eyes was an indescribable fear. Just now, she truly felt she was about to die. Before she could calm down, the scene before her changed. The two vanished from the arena. The winner was decided. Outside the arena, there was chaos. The match turned around too quickly, from King Xiaoqiu having an absolute advantage to being crushed. In just a few short seconds, the victory was decided. Lin Mo, with overwhelming power, crushed King Xiaoqiu. Oh my god. Lin Mo is too strong. Were those skeletons his techniques? The few knights that appeared later were astonishingly fast. King Xiaoqiu couldn't resist at all. If it weren't for the protective magical treasures, she would have lost at the first blow. Wait. If it weren't for the magical treasures, Lin Mo wouldn't have needed to use the second summoning skill. Summoning techniques are only found in the Black Tortoise Star region, right? How does Lin Mo know them too? Are you stupid? Summoning techniques are not only found in the Black Tortoise Star region, it's just that people there know more about them. It's not strange that Lin Mo knows them. The god venerates looked at each other in confusion. The situation reversed too quickly. Many god venerates did not know much about Lin Mo. When Lin Mo became famous, most of his information was already hidden. Even god venerates did not have the authority to access it. Later, as he became more famous, even more information was hidden. Only his name and realm could be checked. Therefore, the god venerates knew very little about Lin Mo and were very curious. Now, Lin Mo finally revealed a little secret. It turns out Lin Mo is a summoner. A god venerate from the Black Tortoise Star region's eyes flashed. He pondered, he is indeed a summoner. Back by the lake, Lin Mo was as usual, his eyes calmly looking towards the sky. He looked towards the palace of Sage Hao and the others. Although he couldn't see anything, he still wanted to look. I wonder how my sister is doing. He knew that advancing to god venerate was not a matter of a day or two. It could take a few months quickly, or over 100 years slowly. The duration, whether smooth or not, depended on the individual. But with Sage Hao and the others there, Lin Mo had no need to worry. A fragrant breeze wafted over. Lin Mo followed the scent and looked up, seeing King Fei and King Xiaoqiu approaching. King Fei had a majestic demeanor, her whole being like a sharp sword unsheathed. Incredibly sharp. Her steps were firm, her eyes resolute. King Xiaoqiu walked close beside her. When she saw Lin Mo, she glared at him fiercely. Clearly, she still held a grudge against Lin Mo. Lin Mo calmly said, "Senior sister king, Is there something you need? He made tea, then said, it's a trivial matter. Senior sister King doesn't need to be so polite. King Shakshio scrunched her nose, still maintaining her arrogant and untamed demeanor. Who needs him to go easy? He couldn't kill me in the grand competition. At most, I just lost. King Fei slapped King Shakshio's forehead hard, not gently at all. King Shakshio cried out, holding her head in pain, tears flowing. King Fei clenched her face, strictly teaching her, even if he couldn't kill you, severely injuring you is not a problem. Do you still want to participate in the subsequent knockout rounds? Sure enough, people like King Fei understood. The knockout rounds were the most important. The final goal of those who couldn't contend for the top 16 was the knockout rounds. Those who used all their strength in the previous 2 rounds, even if they were injured, were fools. King Shakshio seemed very afraid of her older sister. Suppressed, she dared not speak much. King Fei said, regardless, I must thank junior brother Lin. This was the first time my sister genuinely fought against someone else, so she was a bit reckless. Lin Mo understood. King Shakshio must have recounted the previous events to King Fei. Lin Mo laughed heartily. I was just curious about her talent, so I intentionally tested a few moves. I hope senior sister won't take offense. King Fei shook her head. Lin Mo's character is not doubted by King Fei. Even the 2 times he taught a lesson on Fire Seed Island left a deep impression on King Fei. Lin Mo shamelessly said, actually, occasionally getting a little beat up isn't a bad thing. At this moment King Shakshio seemed to remember something. Her eyes lit up. That's right. You are only a 4th-stage god king. I am a 9th-stage god king. According to the human race rules, you should call me senior sister king. Lin Mo replied casually, that's right. Senior sister Shakshio, what advice do you have? King Shakshio was stunned. Why was this guy so easily accepting? Didn't he get angry and refuse to call me that? This reaction was far from what she had imagined. King Fei suddenly smiled charmingly. See? Your little thoughts were seen through by junior brother Lin. He just accepted your thanks. The tea aroma wafted. King Shakshio twitched her nose. She cried out, whoa, it's enlightenment tea. King Fei also smelled the enlightenment tea. In the faint fragrance, there was the aura of the law. This was the characteristic of enlightenment tea. Lin Mo gestured with his hand. Senior sister King, senior sister Shakshio, let's enjoy the tea together. The 2 did not stand on ceremony, and directly entered the pavilion. King Shakshio could recognize enlightenment tea. Lin Mo was not surprised. The King family certainly had no shortage of god venerates. King Shakshio, as the little princess, naturally frequently interacted with god venerates. She must have drunk enlightenment tea more than once. From this, I can also see that the King family is not as strict as some prestigious families in the Divine City. I have interacted with the Yu family and the Xiu family. The disciples and their families are numerous and strictly stratified. After sitting down, King Fei did not need Lin Mo to do anything, but naturally began to brew tea. Her movements were skilled and full of Dao charm. Clearly, she often did this in her family. Furthermore, her experience was long-standing, far surpassing Lin Mo. After all, King Fei was at least several hundred years old, living dozens of times longer than Lin Mo. There were many things unrelated to cultivation that could not be compared. King Shakshio drank the tea and exclaimed, this tea is even better than the tea at home. King Fei was slightly surprised. She smelled the tea, and then tasted it. Her eyes lit up. It is indeed better than the tea at home. I didn't expect junior brother Lin to have such good tea. This kind of tea either grew in dangerous places in the great world or in the ancestral lands of various races and was considered a treasure. Lin Mo replied, it was a gift from a senior. King Fei did not pursue the matter further. She changed the topic. Junior brother Lin also knows that for the top 16, the knockout stage is the most important. I wonder if junior brother Lin is clear about our competition method. Lin Mo shook his head. I'm not clear. King Fei said, the rules of the 4 Great Star Regions Grand Competition change slightly each time, but the rules will cycle, repeating every few decades. I have a few conjectures that I want to share with junior brother Lin, as thanks for showing mercy this time. King Fei wanted to use information to repay the favor, indicating that she did not want to owe a personal debt. Lin Mo smiled. Then please tell me. Seeing Lin Mo agree, King Fei smiled lightly. I think our top 16 could adopt 3 competition methods. 1 is the simplest, 1, winner advances, loser falls. 2 is the same as the other contestants, a round, robin competition. 3 is a team competition, divided into 4 or 8 groups for a confrontation. But since the other contestants are using a round, robin competition, the possibility of our top 16 using a round, Urban competition is lower. Moreover, foreign races are observing this time, so I think one is the most likely possibility. Your brother Lin, what do you think? Your words are very reasonable. Lin Mo had also thought about this, and the discussion with others was not much different from what she said. But Lin Mo also had his own thoughts. I once heard that on a few occasions, the 4 Great Star Regions Grand Competition used a combination of multiple competition modes, and there were also times when a secret realm exploration method was used. King Fei shook her head. Combining multiple competition modes is not impossible, but the possibility is very small. As for secret realm exploration, it has happened before, but the probability is very low. It definitely won't be used this time. Anyway, as long as we are well prepared, it should be fine. With that, King Fei refilled Lin Mo's tea. Her beautiful face was slightly flushed, not out of embarrassment, but because she felt uncomfortable. She actively came to repay the favor, regardless of whether Lin Mo wanted it or not. In fact, her words were not very useful to Lin Mo. Lin Mo still calmly accepting her repayment. This, in turn, made King Fei feel uneasy. King Shaksha next didn't understand anything. She only drank tea, enjoying the ultimate deliciousness of the enlightenment tea. Suddenly, she opened her eyes wide, staring at King Fei. Sis, why is your face red? King Shaksha was grabbed by her ear and dragged away by King Fei, looking miserable. She didn't understand why she had offended King Fei to the point of suffering this treatment. Lin Mo finally had a moment of peace, but he knew this tranquility wouldn't last long. Chu Jingxing, Shuang Bai, and Xu Shon were arriving soon. As long as Xu Shon was present, it would certainly not be peaceful. Sure enough, soon the 3 arrived, carrying delicacies and fine wine. Round 3 of the competition proceeded faster than the previous 2 rounds. In less than 2 days, all the matches were concluded. The results were not surprising. The strong still won, and the weak still lost. There were a few cases of upsets, but they were very rare. Round 3 had 62 matches. The 62 winners advanced to the next round. By this point, a portion of the 100 seed contestants from the continent of mountains had been eliminated. Among the 62 winners, 18 were from the 4 Great Star Regions, all minor god venerates. Through the matches, it could be seen that at the same realm, the seed contestants from the continent of mountains often had an advantage. Even if they were 1 rank lower, they were not guaranteed to lose. Only with a huge difference in realm, like Xu Jingxing, Zhang Xiao, and the others were they easily defeated. But they only viewed this as an opportunity for tempering and accumulating experience. Losing was normal. The time for them to truly display their talent was not now, but the next competition or even the one after. Lin Mo held Xu Jingxing in high regard. From the first time they met, he had sensed something extraordinary about this person. The day after round 3 concluded, round 4 began immediately, with no time for rest. If anyone was injured in the previous round, they could only bear it themselves. This round only had 62 people, and all of them were ranked below 100. Contestants ranked above 100 were all eliminated. It must be said that the Human Emperor Network's method of ranking based on spiritual strength was 99 accurate. According to the rules, Lin Mo was once again paired with the highest ranked remaining contestant. He was a person from the God of War Palace, also from the continent of mountains. His name was Meng Cheng, a 9th stage God King, ranked 96th. In the previous round, he defeated a contestant from the White Tiger Star region, also a 9th stage God King, but the opponent was completely unable to resist. Meng Chen was burly, nearly 3 meters tall, standing on the arena like a small mountain. Such height was very rare in the human race. Such individuals usually had extraordinary talent and met additional conditions to be accepted by the God of War Palace. The God of War Palace had a specialized martial art that required such talent. Meng Chen was an example. Although only a 9th stage God King, his combat strength was no less than some minor god venerates. Lin Mo stood opposite Meng Chen. The two were separated by thousands of meters, observing each other. They had met before on Fireseed Island. At that time, Meng Chen stood behind Wei Baoan but was still very prominent. Meng Chen spoke, his voice like thunder rumbling over the continent of mountains. I lost before. Today, you will win it back. He was very straightforward. Lin Mo saw the sincerity in his eyes. He truly wanted to win, not out of hatred, but simply a desire for victory. Against such a person, there was no need for politeness. Lin Mo directly replied, you have no chance. Meng Chen was not angry. He clapped his hands together across his chest. We won't know until we fight. Lin Mo did not say anything more. However, he was very interested in the inheritance of the God of War Palace. Back then, Xiao Jiantian rose up, saving the human race from danger, and then fought against other races, exterminating many races. From those races, he obtained many secret techniques. Combining them with his own experience and techniques, he created many inherited martial arts, which became the foundation of the God of War Palace. Outsiders only knew that the God of War Palace possessed extremely powerful inheritances, but no one knew what those inheritances truly were. Only those who genuinely joined the God of War Palace, the exceptionally talented, had the opportunity to access them. 10 minutes passed. Meng Chen roared like an angry beast. His body rapidly expanded, becoming even more robust. From the original 3-meter height, he instantly reached 5 meters. Muscles bulged all over his body, hard as metal and stone, emitting a shimmering metallic light. Great strength God's method. At this moment, Meng Chen had transformed into a great strength god.